Alrighty, we are live. We are live. Oh, we are live. 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 Hello, everybody. Hello, 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 everybody. Hello. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. Hello, everybody. Thumbie's done. I know I'm pulling them up right now. I know I am pulling them up right now. Oh, these are great. These are great. These are great. Great thummies. Good work, Nelson. Hi, everybody. More stickers on your face. They work like a charm. They work like a charm. All the acne that I had underneath those stickers are gone. Gone. Gonzo Alonzo. These are acne stickers. They're little pimple patches. They get rid of your acne and they're cute. They're nice and cute. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Listening for my car ride, let's go. Then stop fucking typing and drive your goddamn car. How about that, you son of a fuck? How about that? Docutussi, I already have
Puerto Rico is
an unbelievable amount of links, but I will take a gander at the Docutussi. Just so you can understand how many links I have. Look at this. Look at this. Do you see how many fucking links I have queued up? But I will take a gander. But first, hi everybody. Hello. Welcome to the Valenti Videos broadcast. If you're here already, you're an early bird, and you know what early birds catch. The clap. Alright? Okay? Gotta mow grass listening to this. How about you shut the fuck up and drive your mower? Nerd. Lawn nerd. Lawn dork. A Bella Chow? We'll have a better chow. Y'all better behave today. I'm sick. You know that. You know damn well that's not gonna happen. You know damn well that's not gonna happen. You should have said the worm. I'll give you worms. I'll give you worms. You think I can afford a rider mower? Oh, what do you got a scythe? You got a scythe? You can go around with a scythe? $5. The President of Peace didn't work out, so I'm looking forward to the President of Rest in Peace. Like it. Big fan of that. Big fan of that. Chris gave me worms on Saturday. I did do that. I did do that. I did do that. Believe it or not, I did do that. Turn up the volume for my Italian dad to hear an American sing Bella Ciao. All right, y'all ready? Y'all ready for a little Bella Ciao? I believe it's time for a little Bella Ciao. It's time to rip a pledge. That's what we're calling it from now on. It's time to rip a pledge. Get it on the cube. Una mattina mi sono alzato, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi sono alzato e ho trovato l'invasor, oh partigiano, portami via. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 partigiano, portami via. Che mi sento di morire. The vibe is rancid. No, I'm kidding. The vibe is immaculate. Delish, 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 delish. The list goes on and on and on. You made it through another weekend, gang. Money! Money! $5. When are you actually going to get a low taper fade? I don't know. I mean, Nelson told me when I go, I got to tell him to taper it a little bit more. Imagine if Valenti Videos got a low taper fade. Imagine if Valenti Videos got a low taper fade. Excuse me. 2 minutes ago, somebody super chatted, Chris, why do you think Taiwan doesn't deserve independence or U.S. aid? I never said Taiwan doesn't deserve independence. I don't believe that any foreign nation deserves U.S. taxpayers sending our money over there to ensure their survival. I think that if you are a sovereign nation, it is up to you and your people and your government to keep your people safe. I don't understand why the fuck I have to be sending my tax dollars over there. I just don't. Especially when it comes to Taiwan, considering that Taiwan historically was a part of China. Like, you know, if there are existential threats, you know, like the threat of genocide or the threat of, I don't know, like a nuclear strike, then I believe in different superpowers all over the world coming together and trying to stop that existential threat. But I don't believe that China having a peaceful reunification with Taiwan is so much of an existential threat that my taxpayer dollars should be sent over there to protect them. I just don't believe that. I'm listening at work, surrounded by boomer and MAGA chuds. This brings me a feral joy knowing that this would piss them off. Plug me into the JBL. Plug me into the JBL speaker, everybody. Cheers from Satan's asshole. Phoenix, Arizona. You should go fry an egg on your driveway, you fucking demon. $2. That's fair, honestly. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That is fair, you know. Also, I would understand U.S. aid if it was a reciprocal relationship and we were receiving something from Taiwan. However, the only thing that we are receiving from Taiwan are American chip manufacturers who are paying the Taiwanese people pennies on the dollar in order to exploit as much labor from them as possible. I don't think that that is a valuable relationship, and I think that the United States of America would be better off in the long run if we brought all of that offshored business all over the world, but specifically the microchip manufacturers in Taiwan, brought that back to the U.S., had those factories in the U.S., employed American workers in the U.S., and paid them actual living wages in the U.S. You know what I'm saying? I think that that should be the goal for, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat or Republican. I don't understand how anybody can support offshoring our critical businesses. 0439 Tuesday 11th, gang. I don't know what the fuck that means. Tuesday, I don't know what that means. Femboy Valenti, always. Reaction to the EDP 445 documentary. I didn't watch that because I'm, you know, not weird. I might watch it. I don't know. I don't give a fuck about EDP. Like, why the fuck would I watch someone interview a pedophile? That's ridiculous. Oh, well, I watch Trump interviews, so... I do watch Trump interviews, so that does kind of make sense. It's super fucked up, then maybe I should watch it. Maybe we'll watch a little bit of it on stream. Maybe we'll watch just a little bit of it on stream. Bro, I'm about to put you on the speaker at work. Say something cool. America deserved 9/11. Okay, is that good? Shag brought it up. I'll check it out. I mean, I saw Shag's video on it saying that he deserves to be in jail and that, like, he's gonna kill somebody. Hey, yo. Iran won the war? I know. All right, let's comb through the docu-tussy so we can get to what we have queued up. Christkommunisten, War, Terror und Slaverisch. What is this, some sort of Nazi advertisement against the Red Menace? Oh, it's a Dutch anti-communist propaganda. Choose communism, vote in slavery. But why does it go so hard? It does go stupid hard. Vibe check. You know, we used to get really cool looking anti-communist art, and now we get AI slop. Like, look how cool this shit is. Everything from the half-ass fascism to the absolute crashing of our economy is really fitting for this administration. They lack the same levels of media control and influence over art that they had during the McCarthy era, and for that they will fail. As the people have awakened to seek alternative media, with 84 days until Election Day, we are going to see just how much the interest in right wing has tried to fund endless attack campaigns against the left. Correcto mundo, correcto mundo. All right, current stats, 154,000 subs on YouTube, 990 members on the Discord, only 10 more members join the Discord, and you guys hit 1,000 members in the Discussy. Make sure you join the Discussy if you're looking for a nice community of like-minded individuals. Oh, I like this, a little gentle giant. You call that a gentle giant. Meanwhile, one tail whip to a squid, and it's turned into a pile of mush. All right, running low on time against the fight of fascism. No worries, check out the meat and potatoes. Mecca joined Defense Pact. Excuse me. Al Jazeera here. What do we got? Mecca Joint Defense Pact signed as the Hormuz deal nears. Oh, this didn't happen. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this defense agreement between Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Pakistan committing to each country to treat an attack on one, so it's essentially a NATO agreement between them all. However, none of these countries will follow along this agreement. Like, it's not even worth the paper that it's signed onto. CENTCOM says it redirected 51 commercial vessels, disabled 2, and boarded 2 others since reinstating the naval blockade in Iran. I don't believe any of that. Iran and Oman continued negotiations over a new mechanism for navigation to the Strait of Hormuz. I have a lot of this stuff queued up already. Hi, Luigi. Hi, little mama. Hi, baby. Hi, mama. You want to come up and say hi? Oh, no, you just want to play? Here, I'll give it a toss. You ready? You ready? Ooh. You didn't even get it. You just touched it. You just tapped it. I thought I heard the old man say, leave her, Johnny, leave her. Tomorrow you will get your pay, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. Great song, great song, great song, great song, great song. Where did the shield come from? The Hylian shield that is made entirely out of blunt wraps? That came from my favorite artist, R.J. Izquierdo. I'm definitely butchering his last name, but who cares? Who cares, you know? Who cares? Anyway. Houthi attacks on government forces hint that a major battle in Yemen is brewing. Hormuz letter says that Trump will review. Yes, I got that. ICE new detention center contracts declare state laws shall not apply to them. Get the fuck out of here. What is this? ICE's new detention center contracts declare state laws shall not apply. One day after a federal judge ordered an ICE detention center open to state health inspectors, the agency posted a new contract terms that would void state oversight at 4 facilities. Well, that sounds unconstitutional. I know the jobs report number is really bad. Which breakdown do we have here? Because I have a different breakdown. Thank you for the shekels. Much appreciated. What the fuck's going on here? Oh, whatever. All right. Oh, yeah, dude, I put this on my story. This is so funny.
Why are we always losing? Nobody ever wants to vote for us. Oh.
Hi there, I'm somebody everybody wants to vote for.
Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! Leave! 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 Leave!
I was just trying to make things more affordable for people.
What?
It's what they want. I'm doing what the people want. You know, I don't understand. But the people want it if we give it to them to vote. Okay, alright, okay, dude, I'm leaving.
Don't you say those words around here! Don't you ever say those words!
I'm still gonna run though. I'm trying to win. It would be a lot easier if we worked together. Alright, I'm leaving.
Why are we always losing? Nobody.
That's so fucking funny. Yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. Would you honk it? Fuck is this?
Let's say that it does honk. What are you gonna do about that? You live with your parents. They'll hear that. Let's say that it does honk.
I don't get it. Halo 2 Legendary Mode was something else. Oh god, is this going to be a Jackal Sniper? It's got to be a Jackal Sniper. That's the only thing that... Dude, I have nightmares of Jackal Snipers. Yo! Yo! Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Oh, Jesus Christ. The 5 guys. Oh, no. 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 What is wrong with you? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, rumors from one of the community members. My Iranian friend is reporting that it appears there's going to be another internet blockage in Iran. Traffic has dipped from 24 to 4%. That's not good. Warm-ups. A child in Gaza want to ask what kind of birds does he know. Oh, God, it's going to be drones.
Today I asked him how many kinds of birds you know. He answered, I know quadcopter, helicopter, Apache, F-16, and F-35.
Oh, God.
And when he grow up, what can we teach him? It's a hard thing to read. And Nizar is one of the most dedicated fathers I've ever met in my life. We should support these people in any way we can. And you all are, so thanks for that.
God, that's fucking brutal. God, that's fucking brutal, but that is why we do what we do, to create a better world for the children that will inherit this goddamn earth, okay? And I'll be damned if I let the children inherit an earth with autonomous targeting systems that are mowing them down at such a skyrocketing rate that they don't even know what a bird is compared to those quadcopter motherfuckers. That's why we vote socialist. That's why we vote progressive. That's why we stand against these fascist bastards who want to squash you like a bug. More. Houthi attacks on government forces hint that a major... Yes, Hormuz letter. Yes. Yes. War with Iran. The clankers are making real viruses now. I know about that. That shit is disgusting. Todd Blanche gets the necessary votes. I expected that fully. Another wave of victories for progressives in the South. What else? What else do we got? Zuckerberg faces questions over why Super Yacht reportedly refused to rescue a stranded small boat. Yeah, why the fuck would he? He's a billionaire. He doesn't give a shit about anybody other than himself. Greenland warns that Trump-aligned oil company that brought in drilling equipment. Yeah, I read about that. Let me have this one queued up. This one might be worth tossing in there. Greenland's government has issued a strong warning to a U.S. oil company with links to the Fuhrer after it brought drilling equipment ashore without prior approval. Texas-based Greenland Energy, established last year, was admonished for having its equipment shipped to the east coast of the Arctic island recently without permission. Yeah, no, this ain't good. This ain't good. This ain't good, folks. What is he saying? This is right after he got his hair cut.
To take care of that situation. We need Greenland, very importantly, for international security.
My school is making me wear clear book bags. Fuck. That's demented. That's demented, bro. We have just surrendered to the mass shooters. Surrendered. Morning Joe crashes out about Hank Becker. Since when?
Please, I don't need people telling me. Oh, you have to just.
Why is he dressed like Spock? Why is he dressed like fucking Spock, dude?
Eye to people saying that women getting raped on October 7th didn't matter.
You know that, by the way, there is not one single shred of evidence that Hamas raped anybody on October 7th. Not one frame of footage, not one shred of evidence that that happened. Now, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but there's not a shred of evidence that that ever happened.
In the grand scheme of things, no Americans aren't going to support that. This is not about me. This is about the Democrats, once again, fumbling the football on the 2-yard line when they have a chance to make great gains, but being so woke, I don't know if you want to call it woke 1, woke 2, or woke 3, but being too woke to call out the obvious. I swear to God. It's crazy that we're even having this conversation. If somebody says a woman being raped doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, it's okay to call that person out.
That's not what he said. He said that the rapes that were committed on October 7th, hypothetically, allegedly, do not permit Israel to commit a fucking genocide. That's what they said. Morning Joe, you fucking failure, you fucking crock of shit.
And demand that candidates distance themselves from those people. If you want to rule, over a party and win elections. If somebody says going to a rally the day after Hamas slaughters more Jews than any time since the Holocaust, it's okay for Chuck Schumer.
What the fuck is the problem with going to a Free Palestine rally? What the fuck is the problem with that? And also, the majority of the people who were killed on October 7th were killed by the Israeli government when they enacted the Hannibal Protocol and decided that those people would be better off dead than taken hostage. This is confirmed fucking fact. We have video evidence of Itamar Ben-Gvir ordering the slaughter of his own fucking people on October 7th.
It's okay for Hakeem Jeffries to call that despicable.
Trump is going to sign an EO calling to space out childhood shots. It doesn't matter. He can sign as many EOs as he wants. It doesn't fucking matter. The EOs are not going to be followed through.
And demand that people distance themselves from that. That's okay. So why are we bringing this up now? We're bringing this up now because it seems an awful lot like what was happening in 2024 when Democrats couldn't get out of their own way to win an election they should have won.
Oh, shut the fuck up, dude. You're so washed. You're so unbelievably washed. Democrats plan to investigate Trump instead of impeaching them if they win the midterms. Well, I'll be honest. Impeaching him won't do anything. Like, we need to move past calling for impeachment. The cocksucker's been impeached twice. It didn't do shit. What do you think, impeaching him a third time's going to do something other than symbolic ritual shit? No, you got to invoke the 25th Amendment. That's what you got to fucking do. Unbelievable. Democrats plan Trump investigations over impeachment if they win. House Democrats plan for a possible return to power, developing a broad investigative strategy targeting companies and financial firms surrounding the Fuhrer instead of trying to impeach him immediately, according to 4 people familiar with the matter. Senior Democrats in the U.S. House of Representatives and committee aides have discussed using hearings, subpoenas, and document requests to obtain records from entities tied to the Fuhrer's political and business orbit, the sources said. It is a bet that investigating private companies and outside financial players will prove more fruitful than directly confronting a White House they expect to resist oversight, they said. Well, I mean, I guess that's a fair assessment, but again, neither of those things will come to fruition. Whether you can't have a accurate investigation of the Fuhrer while the Fuhrer is in power. You need to hold all 3 branches in order for that to work. You need the Democrats to hold the presidency, the fucking the judiciary, the fucking legislative branch. You need to pack the Supreme Court. You need actual Democrats in power across all 3 fucking branches. More. The impeachment process, I don't give a fuck about that. The ADL is now a hate group. Mamdani Monitor, New York City Hall Accountability Tracker. I don't know what that is. Jobs numbers are really bad. I know about that. Flock is spying on shooting ranges. Oh, Jesus. They want to know which ones of us are armed. ICE will release body camera video only when the agency's best interest says it. Oh, my God, that's fucking stupid. Ketanji Brown is trying to warn us about something. What's she trying to warn us about? Wow, that's a stupid fucking headline. I'm not even going to read it because of how fucking stupid that headline is. Trying to warn us about something. Are we listening? Well, I'm not fucking reading your article, bitch. Put it in the fucking headline. ICE detains everyone inside of a nightclub after illegally barricading the doors. Fuck out of here. Gestapo shit, bro. Gestapo shit. Great job, OAL Media. Listen, if you want to participate in the OAL Media, you want to participate in the Daily Docutussie, you can join the Discord. I'm not in the Discord, so don't come looking for your Fuhrer. This is about community building, okay? This is about community building. So if you want to be a part of a great community with like-minded individuals, consider joining the Discord. I'm sure one of the mods will drop the Discord link right now. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, great daily docutus. Very proud of each and every one of you. We're going to watch this little Puerto Rico water crisis thing here from PBS.
Puerto Rico is facing yet another crisis. Starting today, major cities are rationing water for residents due to severe drought conditions. Our Dima Zain tells us more.
Amna, for rotating 48-hour periods, the water will be shut off across the island, further disrupting daily life for residents and raising concerns about potential public health issues, prompting the governor to issue a plea asking to use water wisely.
I just realized I'm such a dick for whipping this out and slamming it in the middle of this. Right when that started, I'm like, give it to me. Fuck, you guys are going to clip that, ain't you?
Sometimes we're showering and we leave the water running, and we wash our hair and leave the water running. Let's shut it off when we're washing and then turn it back on to rinse off. That can be the difference in reducing water consumption. Same thing when we wash dishes or do laundry.
How about you demand a water drop-off from the United States federal government? You know, like, I refuse to believe that we could drop $50 billion worth of bombs on your nation, but we can't load up some fucking C-47s and bring you an absolute fucking cacophonous amount of water.
This crisis is also exposing the island's aging water infrastructure and lack of immediate government action, leaving many frustrated.
Like, you see this truck? The U.S. government should be loading 100 C-47s, each one with, I don't know, 10 of these fucking things. Fly it over to Puerto Rico and help these fucking people out, man. I mean, it's our fucking territory, for God's sake. You know how we used to do, like, when we were young, people used to say, like, you gotta eat all your food. There's kids in Africa who don't have drinking water, right? There's fucking people in American territory in Puerto Rico who don't have fucking drinking water now.
And leaving many frustrated. For more on how families are coping and what officials are saying, I'm joined by Laura.
Oh my God, out of the fabuloso. Now that's Puerto Rican. Now that is Puerto Rican.
Perez Sanchez, an independent investigative reporter who collaborates with the New York Times and lives in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to just jump right in. Can you explain where you are and what the conditions are like right now?
Well, I'm in San Juan, and the conditions, I would say I have water right now, but I'm supposed to be part of the rationing system, and starting on Sunday, I should not have it. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Right now, what is happening is that people are feel frustrated because even with the rationing system, things are not going as planned. People who are supposed to not have water this morning have it. And there's communities that haven't had water for a long time now. And people are just bracing for...
Hey there, Mr. Jumbo, out there in the African sun.
What seems to be coming and seems to be a very hard time that's going to come to us.
So what I hear you saying is there seems to be a little bit of confusion about who is supposed to get water when. And my question then to you is, do residents feel that right now authorities are communicating clearly about the situation and about the water?
Well, I would say that that's the main issue right now. There's communities in San Juan and in other places in the Big Island of Puerto Rico that haven't had water for a long time, even more than a year. And there has been a lack of communication, a lack of clear information to understand why that was happening. And right now, the way the government explained the program, the rationing program, was confusing. It is confusing how it is starting to be implemented. And
well, I can tell you how it's probably going to actually be implemented. Anyone who is wealthy in Puerto Rico will have permanent access to clean drinking water, and anybody who is middle class or poor will have no access to clean drinking water. That's how it's going to end up. That's how it's going to work, 1,000% guaranteed.
I feel like for an emergency that has many
I've heard enough. 15 trillion to Israel.
Explanations and reasons to not be able to understand what's going to come, what's going to happen, is becoming very, very frustrating for people on the ground.
And I want to ask, the island has been dealing with water shortage issues and power outages for quite some time. But talking about this new problem, how much of it is because of the drought conditions or the water infrastructure?
It's primarily got to be the infrastructure.
Well, experts say that it's because of the lack of maintenance and upkeeping in the water infrastructure. I've talked to experts who have told me that our water system loses close to 60% of the water that is in it, so it doesn't get to customers. And for example, the reservoir that is right now where they are implementing the rationing, they extract 90 million gallons a day in a regular day on average, and they end up taking to the system and getting into the system 65 million gallons. So there's a big loss there of water that they don't know where it's happening. And I think that that's also the reason why...
Yo, I bet you money... Hold on. Let's find out. Are there data centers in Puerto Rico? Okay, I know where it's going. I know where the water's going. I figured it out. I figured it out, guys. I think I know what's happening. I'm pretty sure I figured it out. I'm pretty sure the federal government is redirecting the water to the data centers in Puerto Rico. Took me 5 seconds to figure this out. Ha ha! All right, well, yeah, that was easy.
People are so frustrated because it feels that we should not be in this position, even though there's a drought, and that is true, that it is happening and it's been affecting us since maybe May. I really miss hearing the sound of the rain.
Is there any end in sight? Will continuous flowing water be available to the island anytime soon, in your opinion?
Solved also by AI. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Talking to experts is frustrating because they explain how this is the result of a lack of management and maintenance of our infrastructure, but there's also hope in talking to them because they always refer to our underground water resources and reservoirs. The aquifer is how we call them, and I know that there's water there, and that if we manage our resource better, we should not run out of water, or at least not as soon as it seems that we could. But going back to your question, there has been meteorologists have been saying, and other experts in climate saying, the El Niño, this severe Niño hasn't started yet, and that maybe
oh my God, when that super El Nino comes, bro, I don't think any nation on Earth is prepared for the super El Nino. Maybe China is, but like that super El Nino is going to absolutely ravage coastal countries, coastal cities. I mean, I don't even want to imagine what's going to happen to Puerto Rico.
These dry conditions are going to last all the way to the end of the year. I'm being hopeful that there's like I said before, like a little miracle storm that's gonna save us from this.
Well, there was I think it started raining in Puerto Rico for the first time in a while the other day. Oh, Nelson, you want me to pose for these shots real quick? I want to pose for these. You still here, Big Daddy? Yeah, you is. All right. All right. So let's go with this one. We're gonna go with this. Okay. We'll go with that one. And then for the divide, let's go with this. Let's go with this for the divide. For this one, it's gonna have me protecting AOC because that's the type of man I am. Okay. Okay, how's that? Good? Yeah. I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. Hey there, Mr. Jumbo, out there in the African sun. These are great. These are great. These are fantastic. Unbelievably fantastic, if I do say so myself. All right, we'll let Nelson cook. And while Nelson cooks, we will prepare for our 2 videos. So the first one, we're going to start with this. And we'll start with that. And this. And this. All right. By the way, guys, if you had a lot of fun in the intro to the Valenti Videos broadcast, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, donate to the channel, do everything you got to do. It goes a long way. Thank you very much. You guys are the early birds. If you get to experience what happens before we start recording, you are a very rare breed of man. You look like Elvis. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. My wife was 16 when I married her. Isn't that true? Isn't that true?
We need to stop the DSA before they become authoritarian and take away our brains. Yeah. We need to stop that Abdul El Sayed. He's so handsome. He's so ripped, and it looks like he walks like it's heavy. We can't allow him to rise to power. He walks like it's so heavy.
Alrighty. She was 14. That's even worse. Oh, you're done already? Let's get a look real quick before we start. So this one, you said done, but he's still moving it. That's good. That one's great. And that's good. That one's great. You know, these are looking fantastic. These are looking fantastic. Big fan, big fan, big fan, big fan, big fan, big fan. Hey there, Mr. Jumbo, out there in the African sun. Go into voice acting, Chris? I've been in voice acting for a while. I haven't had a gig in a long time, but, you know, higher calling, folks. Maybe one of these days. Maybe one of these days. Isn't there, yo, you know what? There's a little game we should play later. Does anybody know the game? It's kind of going viral where, like, it takes clips from movies and then you like, do the lines and then, like, it plays it. I've been seeing Toy Story. I've been seeing Star Wars, whatever the fuck it is. You guys seen that? I've seen that. I don't know the name of the game, though. Choicer Voicer. Yeah, I want to do it. All right, maybe we'll play that later. All right. So where does this video end and the next one begins? I believe. There. Yeah, with the Patriot Games. I blame you. I say fucking instead of fucking now. You fucking what? You fucking what? You bastard. He's a bastard. You want a bastard on the Iron Throne? Well, he's a bastard. He's a bastard. Okay. Y'all ready? Ready to kirk in? Y'all ready to kirk in? All right, here we go. When are you going to get on the suit train and suit up? Probably not anytime soon. I mean, that's so antithetical to everything that I fucking stand for, you know? I stand for being incredibly relatable to the average Joe. And as much as I love Hassan, he's no longer relatable to the average Joe, you know? He's like a fucking kingmaker in American politics, you know? And he's got a lot of money. You know, I don't even have the money for a suit, bro. I don't even have the money for a suit. All right, y'all ready? Even with a suit, Chris won't be liked by mainstream, and that's why Hassan does it. Yeah, well, I mean, maybe one day I'll start wearing a suit, but no need right now. I know my binky. One more binky rip, then we start. Alrighty, y'all ready? Are you ready? Here we go. The Iran war isn't going to end until at least the year 2029. This is not my opinion. This is directly from the Iranian government, okay? The Iranians have come out, they let out a statement, and I have that queued up, where they said they will no longer be participating with negotiations with the Trump regime, and they will resume negotiations on January 20th, 2029, when the pedophile Fuhrer is no longer in power. On top of that, the Iranians are releasing their new list of demands for the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. Surprise, surprise. The list of demands is exactly what was laid out in the Memorandum of Understanding, plus more. Also, it seems like Trump is finally waking up to the reality that he can no longer bomb the Iranians into the negotiating room, because that doesn't fucking work. As I've said multiple times, every bomb we drop on Iran only strengthens their resolve. And Trump, in this new Axios article, he's saying, quote, "We are low-keying it with Iran." What the fuck? What does that even mean? We're low-keying it. Now, what he means by that is the Iranians refuse to participate in any negotiations with the United States government, and we're out of ammo. We can no longer bomb them into come to the negotiating table. So he's trying to save face a little bit in preparation for the U.S. surrender, which he will declare victory on, no matter what. Whether we win or lose, whether we surrender or nuke them, it doesn't matter. Trump is going to declare victory. He is incapable of admitting defeat. A lot to talk about, but not too much time to do it. So we're going to dive right in. But before we do dive in, I just want to remind you, hi, how are you? I'm Chris Valenti. This is the Valenti VOD. This is real independent media, entirely grassroots funded by you, the viewer. I've never done an advertisement. I've never had a sponsorship. I've never had a conversation with a billionaire or a government or a PAC or any of that shit. So if you want to help support this independent media, there's a couple of ways you can. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video with your group chat of dumb fuck idiots. That costs you nothing, and it helps me out in the algorithm. Now, if you do want to help support me financially, there's a couple of ways you could do that. You could buy merch. We got posters, we got mugs, we got hoodies, we got low-cut tops, stickers, all that jazz located down below. You can click the thanks button to tip me directly. You can click the join button to become a member of the channel for $5. That'll give you access to member-only content. And you can become a patron on Patreon by donating $5, $6, $7, whatever you want to donate. It goes an incredibly long way, and it gives you access to every single video that I make without any of the YouTube advertisements if you don't have YouTube Premium. Again, massive shouts out and thanks to every single one of you who has ever donated a single dollar to this channel. You guys are the only, it's the only income I have is through you guys, the viewers. This is grassroots funded, and I love you all very, very much. All right, without further ado, we're going to dive in. We're going to start off with Trump Truth Social. So, while we are in the middle of losing the Iran war and the jobs numbers are fucking horrendous and inflation is skyrocketing and the cost of living is skyrocketing, our pedophile Fuhrer is just spam posting AI-generated slopaganda of this insane drone port that he wants to build on top of the Epstein Memorial Ballroom. Also, please remember that Trump posted previously saying that this drone port will be used not only for defense, but also for offense, which means he plans on launching attacks on the American people from the White House. But he posted this, then he posted this, just a whole bunch of fucking insane armed drones and soldiers. Then he posted this, yay, July 4th. And then he's still obsessing over the reflecting pool, claiming that there are vandals carving it in, even though the DOJ dropped the charges against that former Olympian who Trump claimed a former Olympian dove into the reflecting pool with a box cutter and then swam all 300 yards and carved a gash across the entire thing. The DOJ, led by Judge Jeanine Pirro, yeah, that Judge Jeanine, she has a job in the White House, has ruled that it was not caused by vandalism. There is zero evidence of vandalism, and it was caused by a rushed and botchy installation by this fucking insane guy who was in charge of doing it. The guy who is in charge of fixing the reflecting pool runs a company called Greenwater Services. That's not a joke. I didn't make that up because it's funny and the reflecting pool turned green. That's quite literally the name of his company. But yeah, he's posting this stuff. He actually did post some stupid shit about inflation. Him on his golf course. Here's an AI generated picture of him with Gary Player, and it says, "With the great Gary Player today at Bedminster." I do believe that Trump actually thinks that this is a real photo. $5 donation. Iran's ICBMs, are going to love that drone bay. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Trump is just posting insane shit. He also is still obsessed with that reflecting pool stuff. Alert, a National Park Service career employee, a highly credible witness, saw David Hearn, that's, I believe, the Olympian, in broad daylight vandalizing the reflecting pool by violently ripping and tugging at the pool's somewhat delicate coating. None of this is true, by the way. Like, confirmed reporting, absolutely none of that is true. Even Trump's own DOJ posting pictures of him playing golf in the middle of us losing a war. Let's see. Oh, and this is in response to the new Iranian demands. I see that representatives of the Islamic Republic of Iran are asking for compensation for the damage done to them during the last 5-month military conflict started because they will not have a nuclear weapon, even though it was never mentioned in any of our negotiations or meetings. But it is an interesting idea because now I am likewise demanding compensation from Iran for all of the people that they have killed and gravely wounded with their roadside bombs and many conflicts for which they are famous, as led initially by General Soleimani, including the families of those killed on the USS Cole and thousands of others killed in combat. Additionally, compensation should be paid to the families of the hundreds of thousands of innocent protesters, hundreds of thousands that Iran has killed over the last 50 years, not to mention the 52,000 that have been killed in the last 5 months. I have instructed my representatives to put this firmly into any and all future negotiations. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So none of that is true. Iran did not kill hundreds of thousands of protesters. They did not kill 52,000 protesters in the last 5 months. All of that is Israeli Hasbara. But yeah, none of this is true. The Iranians have decided that they're going to play by Trump's games, which is just adding things to their list of demands that Trump will never give them because they don't take these negotiations seriously, as they shouldn't, because the U.S. has proven time and time and again that we cannot be trusted to negotiate in good faith. What else? Also, with respect to the Iran negotiations, Iran should be responsible for the damages and death caused to the people of Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, and Gaza. President Donald Trump. Oh, Israel shouldn't be held accountable for that. I see. It's all Iran. It's always Iran. What is this? Kamala. All right, the video won't play, but who gives a shit? I hate that cunt anyway. So, time for this Axios article of Trump saying that we are low-keying it with Iran, which is fucking insane. Let's get a read here. The pedophile Fuhrer signaled on Sunday that he's prepared to allow economic pressure on Iran to mount as opposed to ordering a new military offensive, even as the country continues to defy the U.S. Why it matters. Only a week ago, the Fuhrer was on the verge of ordering a return to major combat operations, but in an interview with Axios, he did not make any new military threats. Friendly reminder, we don't have the ammo to continue the military operations. That's not a joke. This is reporting from every single mainstream media outlet. We have used 80% of our interceptors, 80% of our precision long-range missiles, 80% of our ATACMS. We're out of Patriot missiles entirely. We're almost out of Tomahawk missiles. We don't have anything left except for two things. We have dumb bombs and nukes, okay? So remember, what we've been launching are things called smart bombs. They have targeting systems. They are precision style, right? A dumb bomb would be something that is manned by an actual pilot in a jet, opening up the fucking bomb bay doors and dropping it, right? All of the bombs we dropped in World War II, or not all of them, but primarily could be considered a dumb bomb. So that would put American soldiers at tremendous risk. It would be eviscerating civilian populations in Iran. And then the other option that we have are the nuclear weapons that we are yet to have used and what Trump has requested using over 13 times. The Fuhrer also didn't express any anger or frustration about the fact that Iran has been holding up an announcement on a deal with Oman to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. On Saturday, Iran issued a new list of demands to allow shipping through the strait. What he's saying, quote, "We are low-keying it," the Fuhrer said during a brief phone call. "We are only semi-negotiating with them. We are just watching Iran with its huge inflation and the fact that they have no money." Brother, that's us. Brother, that's me. That's us with the huge inflation and nobody has any fucking money and we're out of ammunition as well. That's us, not them, you psychopath. He stressed that Iran is in very bad shape economically and has no money to pay its troops. The U.S. naval blockade has exacerbated the Iranian regime's economic crisis, the Fuhrer said. At the same time, the Fuhrer said, with oil down to slightly over $75 a barrel, U.S. consumers are feeling less pain from the war. So, real quick. The reason why the price of gasoline is not skyrocketing at the rate that it was right when Operation Epstein's Fury began is because we are artificially deflating the price of oil by tapping into our strategic petroleum reserves, essentially a rainy day fund, a hurricane jar of weed for when you can't go to the dispo or when your dealer dies if you live in a red state, right? So we've been tapping into that, and we are now at the very bottom of that barrel, and very soon we are going to see the price of oil skyrocket, because what we were doing was putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. It works for the short term, but this war, as we're going to read, I'm going to show you, will wage on for at least another 3 years. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? The war in Iran will last until at least 2029 if Trump doesn't surrender. So, by Christmas, you will be paying $10 a gallon for your gasoline. Well, it will work out. It always works out. It's like a chess game, Trump said of the back and forth with Iran. So let it be known, Trump considers a war to be a game. Driving the news, an agreement governing traffic in the Strait of Hormuz was negotiated among Iran, Oman, and the U.S. and has been pending for a few days now. This is not true. Axios is, this is fake reporting. But again, this is Barak Ravid, an actual Israeli agent who wrote this, so it doesn't surprise me. But the U.S. and Iran have not been negotiating whatsoever. The Iranians refuse to negotiate in any sort of negotiations with America. As part of the new deal, Iran would be given partial control over traffic in the Strait, something it didn't have before the war. Qatari and Pakistani mediators were confident the deal would be announced Wednesday, but since then its prospects have seemed to fade. U.S. officials say there are also growing disagreements inside the Iranian regime. One camp, led by President Masoud Pezeshkian, is extremely worried about an economic collapse and believes Iran needs to reach a deal with the U.S. Another, led by the commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Ahmad Vahidi, rejects any concessions. Yeah, this is the guy who's actually in charge, Ahmad Vahidi. State of play. On Saturday, the head of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, Mohammad Bagher Zolgadar, laid out new terms for reopening the strait on top of those negotiated with the Oman agreement. Zolgadar said in a statement that in order for the strait to reopen, the U.S., 1, never threaten nor insult Iran in any language. I mean, I'll do that. Trump won't. Pete Hegseth won't. Stephen Miller won't. None of these Republicans will do that. Number 2, permanently end the war against Iran and Iran's allies in Lebanon, Gaza, Yemen, and Iraq. See, that's Israel. And as much as we like to pretend like the U.S. is the big fish and Israel is the small fish, it's the other way around. We can't boss Israel around because the Israelis have a vault in Tel Aviv with videos of the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, raping children. And plus, all of the war hawks, all of the establishment Democrats, all of the, bloodlusting Republicans are ideologically Zionists, and they support American and Israeli imperialism. So that's not going to happen. But let's see. Point 3. Lift the naval blockade and withdraw military forces from the surroundings of Iran. So you want the U.S. to pull all of its forces out of the entirety of the Levant. Well, no, they're not going to do that. Now, these are all things that I would be okay with, but you have to understand what the Iranians are doing, which is what I said a long time ago when the Memorandum of Understanding was released. The Iranians, they know Trump won't agree to these things. They're well aware. But they're doing it to show the world, hey, we're giving him options to end your suffering, American consumer, Iranian civilian, Gazan child. We're giving them options to end your suffering, and they are refusing it. We, the United States and Israel, the axis of Epstein. This is intentional, this is psychological warfare, and this is fucking genius. He added a demand for full compensation for war damages, lifting all sanctions and the release of Iranian frozen funds. Until several weeks ago, these demands were a prerequisite for a nuclear deal. Now Iran is presenting them as conditions just for reopening the strait. Brother, they're not even bringing up the nukes. They're not even bringing up the nuclear program. They're like, yeah, no. Clearly, we're fucking your ass. So why would we even consider negotiating our nuclear enrichment? You have no cards. Dude, the Iranians have smoked the United States of America in this war. This is so fucking embarrassing. A diplomat from one of the mediating countries said Zolgadar's statement reflected the political infighting within the regime. Behind the scenes, U.S. officials said the Fuhrer was leaning toward resuming major combat operations against Iran a week ago, but was convinced to de-escalate for now. Yeah, maybe because we're out of ammo? Maybe because we don't have any bombs left? One of the officials said the fighting allowed the Iranian regime to avoid dealing with the consequences of the war, the damage to infrastructure, and the deep economic crisis that has been created. When Iran isn't engaged in war, it is forced to confront a grim reality with no real solutions at hand, the U.S. official said. At the same time, the U.S. official said around 8 million barrels of oil are going out of the Gulf every night through the southern lane of the Strait of Hormuz in coordination with the U.S. military. That's not true, by the way. This is, you can look at the live ship traffickers, live ship trafficking. None of that is true. We are not getting any oil out of the Strait of Hormuz. And just so you understand, I have a burp coming. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Last night, the Iranians bombed a bunch of ships in the Strait of Hormuz, and we did nothing in response. Nothing at all. Now, that's not because we didn't want to. It's because we're out of ammo. Somebody get this man a max ammo! Anyway, so what to watch? This thing is not over. It's obviously not at the beginning. We're in the middle of this game, and we're applying a whole host of tools, diplomatic, economic, military tools, to ensure that we get the best outcome for the American people, Vice President James Donald Bowman told Fox News on Saturday. If you think that was a mistake, what I said there, it's not. Don't ever forget, J.D. Vance is a made-up name. That is not J.D. Vance's real name. His name is James Donald Bowman, okay? You cannot trust this motherfucker. Anyway, let's move on a little bit here to listen to some of the Iranians also said, I think this is 2 days ago, they said the Strait of Hormuz won't open until the U.S. corrects its behavior. Literally like Nelson taking a toy away from his son and going, you're not gonna get the toy until you stop shitting on the couch. Okay, like that's where we're at. We're at the Iranians sunning us, hitting us with a straight up sun type behavior. They're like, yeah, no, you're not gonna get anything until you stop being a little piece of shit.
An Iranian official says Tehran is close to an agreement with Oman aimed at securing shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, but says any deal is depending on the U.S. changing its behavior before the strait fully reopens. A spokesman for Iran's Revolutionary Guard going further, declaring the strait is no longer just a waterway, but source of power Iran controls because of its geography.
Yes, dude. This is like the Iranian hostage crisis in the 70s under Jimmy Carter. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there was a period for, I believe, over 400 days where the Iranians had 54 U.S. hostages, right? And because the Republicans were working with the Iranians and saying, don't give back the hostages until Carter loses the election, and the Iranians just wanted to keep those hostages, it kind of ruined Jimmy Carter's political career, right? Now the Iranians are repeating that same thing, except they're not taking American people hostage. They're taking the global economy hostage. They're hoisting up the entire planet and saying, look what we've got. We've got all your fucking money, bitch. And you're all gonna suffer until Donald Trump fucking surrenders. That's where they're at. They have proven to the world that I was gonna say you don't need a nuclear weapon to be a superpower, but that's not really true. They don't need a nuclear weapon to be a superpower, because what was previously understood to be international waters, the Strait of Hormuz, the Iranians now declare, no, that is our waters, and that is Oman's waters. None of it is the international community. You're going to have to pay a fucking toll, So the Iranians, why would they ever surrender down when they hold all the cards?
Iran also renewing its demands that the U.S. lift its naval blockade of Iranian ships and ports, and that the U.S. and its allies halt any attacks on Iranian proxies across the region. This comes as the U.S. and other parts of the world see higher fuel prices because of the crisis. Today, Vice President Vance said the two sides have made progress, telling Fox News.
I try to remind people that we're really in the middle of the game here. This thing
Again, both Trump said it's a game and JD Vance says it's a game. Let this be a reminder that if you are in the United States military, this man, the smoky-eyed sociopath and the pedophile Fuhrer, couldn't give less of a shit if you died a gruesome death. They couldn't give less of a fuck, dude. They don't give a shit. You are as replaceable as your fucking rifle to these men.
not over. It's obviously not at the beginning. We're in the middle of the game, and we're applying a whole host of tools, diplomatic, economic, military tools, to ensure that we get the best outcome for the American people.
The vice president adding the negotiations are focused on conditions for the U.S. to maximize oil and gas coming out of the strait so Americans can enjoy lower gas prices. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
Terrible, terrible situation across the board. So here is a statement from the Iranians. This is on the Hormuz Report, which I highly recommend you all follow on Twitter. Breaking. Iran has completely ruled out any future negotiations with the Trump regime, declaring it will wait out the pedophile Fuhrer's term until January 20th, 2029.
Huh?
You know what that's a message to? Me, you, Congress, the Senate. It's a message to all of us saying, hey, we don't want to keep doing this. We'd love to work with you. But unfortunately, you have a demented, fat-bodied, retarded pedophile in charge, sitting behind the Oval Office, sitting behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office. So you're going to continue to suffer for 3 more years. Or you could remove him from office. There's many different ways to do that. That's what the Iranians are saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's what the Iranians are saying. That's not what I'm saying. Quote, Trump will not reach an agreement with us. We will accompany him until his term ends. What a fucking way to say that. What a way. We will accompany you until your term ends. They're gonna haunt him like a fucking specter. Scepter? Specter? No, a scepter is a thing. A specter is a ghost. They're gonna haunt him like a... And don't forget, the Iranians say they're gonna assassinate him. They keep on fucking saying that they're gonna assassinate him. They are living rent-free in that fucker's brain. All right, Trump will not reach an agreement with us. We will accompany him until his term ends, said Majid Shakeri, advisor to the Parliament Speaker Ghalibaf. He posted, quote, the path to victory is neither fighting nor a deal. It is managing the process of neither war nor peace. Excuse me. Up to the point of victory. Publicly confirming negotiations with the U.S. is sheer folly. The winning approach is denial, ambiguity, and strategic patience. These are 3 things that Trump doesn't have. I mean, Trump does have denial. Trump will deny forever. But ambiguity, Trump doesn't have that. And strategic patience, he certainly doesn't have that. Iran's conditions remain unchanged. $300 billion in compensation, release of frozen assets, and withdrawal of U.S. forces. Until then, the strait stays closed. So the Iranians have proved time and time and again they hold all of the power in this war. The U.S. military has been defeated. And then a second post. Breaking, Iran declares the Strait of Hormuz will... yada. But Iran's demands is the U.S. surrender document remain unchanged. That's the MOU. I told you that the MOU was literally a U.S. surrender document, and that is how the Iranians read that. And friendly reminder, Trump signed that. We had a whole pomp and circumstance fucking pony show where Trump signed the fucking memorandum of understanding and declared that the war was over, okay? He clearly didn't read any of the 14 points because that was the U.S. surrender to the Iranians. 300 billy bops in compensation, the release of 100 billy bops in frozen assets, lifting all sanctions, U.S. troop withdrawal from the entire region, end to the naval blockade, and accepting transit fees on every single ship. God, we got fucked. All right. Here's how Fox News is covering this. I'm going to speed this up because nobody wants to watch Fox News unless they're actually a window-licking, short-bus-riding, troglodytic dipshit. So we're going to speed this up and watch.
Semi-negotiating with Iran, signaling...
Remember, this is state-controlled media that calls itself Fox News. Maybe 1.5 is too fast. Let's do 1.25. But state-controlled media that calls itself Fox News. So let's listen to how they spin this for their audience of 1. Remember, that's all this is about, is the one man watching, the pedophile Fuhrer.
semi-negotiating with Iran, signaling he'll lean on economic pressure to bend the regime his direction.
But Iran is now demanding major concessions from the United States to fully open the Strait of Hormuz.
Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst is live in Tel Aviv with the latest. Good morning, Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. With diplomatic efforts ongoing to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, Iranian officials are now making new demands. Iran's Supreme National Security Council issued a fresh statement this weekend calling on the United States to permanently end the war in the region, not just with Iran, but also with its proxies, and to compensate Iran for damages before the strait would reopen. Iran's foreign minister says even if a deal is reached...
By the way, we wouldn't give reparations to the African Americans that we had enslaved and used in the transatlantic slave trade for over 400 years. So there's no shot that any Republican will ever sign on to giving the Iranians compensation. Maybe in 2028, if we have some sort of progressive or some sort of socialist who takes office, maybe then we'll see the end of this war. But as long as the pedophile Fuhrer and the Republican Party is still in charge, no, they will not receive any sort of compensation.
It doesn't necessarily mean the strait will stay open.
The talks with Oman are about a temporary route. We are almost very close to the result. Determining the route by Iran and Oman does not necessarily mean the reopening the Strait of Hormuz. That is dependent on other factors. The violations of the Memorandum of Understanding by America should be compensated.
With details still being worked out, the U.S. naval blockade remains in effect. U.S. Central Command says as of August 9th, CENTCOM has redirected 55 commercial vessels, disabled 2 and boarded 2 to ensure compliance. And President Trump told Axios on Sunday, we are low-keying it. We are only semi-negotiating with them. The president...
What does that even mean, bro? You're either negotiating or you're not negotiating. Semi-negotiating is just having a conversation. You know, it's like if you went and got coffee on a date. And they were like, did you guys like go out and have a date? And you're like, I mean, we got coffee, you know? That's what you're doing. You're having coffee with the Iranians. You're not going out to the club. You're not going out to the bar. You're not bringing the Iranians back to your house to clap cheeks. You're having coffee.
Went on to say, we're just watching Iran with its huge inflation and the fact they have no money. And the Wall Street Journal reports for weeks, President Trump has been laying the groundwork to declare victory in the Iran war. Should take on...
Dude, Trump says, I'm going to declare victory if they open the Strait of Hormuz. Brother, the Strait of Hormuz was open before you started. You said Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, which, by the way, you said you obliterated their nuclear program last June.
Fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz, even floating the idea privately to senior aides that he's willing to walk away without a nuclear deal, U.S. officials said again to the Wall Street Journal. Now, Vice President J.D. Vance spoke with Fox News over the weekend, indicating that U.S. pressure on Iran will continue until an agreement is reached that is best for the United States.
I try to remind people that we're really in the middle of the game here. This thing is...
Real quick, why does she look like she's possessed? You know? She looks like she's staring at the fucking Grim Reaper in the corner, or she's interviewing a fucking alien.
It's not over. It's obviously not at the beginning. We're in the middle of the game, and we're applying a whole host of tools, diplomatic, economic, military tools, to ensure that we get the best outcome for the American people. I feel quite confident we will get there, but we're still a bit in the middle of the game.
Today, a senior Israeli official told Fox News there is new evidence, credible evidence inside of Iran showing this mounting economic pressure, and regime officials in Tehran having to...
Israeli evidence is an oxymoron, okay? The Israelis are so good at propaganda, they have their own word for it, Hezbollah. Because this is real. The Israelis believe there's propaganda. Across the entire planet, there's propaganda. And then there's Israeli propaganda. So good that it needs its own name, Hezbollah.
Choose where their money is distributed. Guys?
So I guess what the president believes that economic pressure would change the regime's mind. But Trey, how likely is that, knowing that they don't seem to care about their people? They're hanging about 2 a day.
They don't care about their people? They don't care about their people? We have a mass Gestapo unit patrolling the streets, executing us in broad fucking daylight. Our jobs numbers are plummeting. Our wages are plummeting. Inflation is skyrocketing. The cost of living is skyrocketing. You know what our Fuhrer says? You know what he says? Affordability is a Democrat hoax. That's what he fucking says. You know what else he says on video? We don't have the money for childcare. We don't have the money for healthcare. We're waging war. That's what he fucking says.
For standing up and speaking out, many of which are decorated athletes. What are the likelihood of economic pressure changing their behavior, judging by what we've seen?
It's a great question. Look, the U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports is costing the regime hundreds of millions of dollars each day. That is a fact.
Brother, we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars! Think, Mark! B is better than M! B is more money than M!
But we have to look at the reality on the ground. And the Strait of Hormuz, this critical international waterway, is still effectively closed. The percentage of vessels actually passing through the waterway is around 10% of what it's supposed to be. And as the Iranians say they are looking to reach an agreement with Oman about who controls which side of the strait, they're still
Dude, that's like such a... They're like literally hitting the fucking... They're Fortnite dancing on us. They're like, yeah, we're thinking about opening up the Strait of Hormuz. We're having a conversation with Oman about who gets to control what. Quite literally being like, yeah, no, we're absolutely going to keep control of the Strait of Hormuz. We're just deciding who controls what. You, America? You don't get diddly fucking shit. You don't get squat.
On vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. Over the weekend on Saturday, an Emirati-flagged tanker was hit with an Iranian missile. And vessels are still having trouble getting around this area. They're trapped in the Persian Gulf. And so the question remains, if the Iranians reach this agreement with Oman, are they willing to keep this waterway open and clear? Because the threats against commercial shipping are so serious that insurance companies are now unwilling to actually cover many of the vessels that would normally pass through this area. And it is affecting the global energy trade. Now, the president has a variety of levers to pull, both militarily and economically. And again, this is really a...
What levers? We pulled every fucking... Wrong lever! Is it Gronk? Is it Grok? Wrong lever! Like, bro, we fired everything. The only two levers he has left to pull militarily are... Let's do a ground invasion, which would fail miserably and take the lives of tens of thousands of U.S. soldiers. Or start global thermonuclear war in which no one wins except for the roaches. There's no more levers!
Broad game of chess. And the Iranians have lost many of their pieces. Much of their navy rests at the bottom of the sea. Their missile arsenal has been degraded.
I love he says much of their navy, whereas Trump said we destroyed their entire navy.
But they still have pieces on the board. And as the vice president said, the United States is in the middle of the game.
All right, Trey, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
I hate when they refer to this shit as a fucking game instead of a war. So yeah, Trump demands Iran pays compensation after Tehran makes conditions for reopening the strait. The Fuhrer demanded on Monday that Iran compensate victims. Yeah, we already covered all of this. Just so you understand, you know how I keep on telling you that I'm afraid that Trump is going to nuke Iran? I know I'm like a leftist, a socialist. I'm just some guy with a fucking camera. Tucker Carlson believes the same thing. And I'm not saying Tucker Carlson is a voice that should be listened to. But if Tucker Carlson and Chris Valenti are saying the same thing, it's probably fucking real. It's probably such a looming threat that the horseshoe of fascism all the way over to communism is starting to agree on one thing, which is, hey, we can't implement the world we want to create if there's no world. So get a look at this.
The point of any system is protect the interests of the people.
God damn, that's a loud Tucker. That's a loud-ass Tucker. Fuck me. Let me slow him down. 1.25.
It serves and governs. It's just the nature of it. So what's a preacher's job? It's to minister to the souls of his congregants. What's a president's job? It's to look out for, to protect the interests of his citizens. Really, really simple. It's inherent to the definition. So it's been obvious for a while now that our system is not working as intended because the people in charge of it seem to be looking out mostly, not exclusively, but mostly for their own interests. And you see that all around you. Government workers make more than the average American. That kind of says it as clearly as anything, but you see it up and down every institution in American life. A lot of them seem to be run primarily for the benefit of the people who run them, and that is bad. And they're less hidden about it than they've ever been. I mean, they're off buying private islands and exempting themselves from the rules that apply to you, and that has caused enormous frustration and resentment from ordinary people. It's like, wait a second, you're not following your own rules. Like, I have to stay home during COVID and you're going to the French Laundry. Because what are you, a king now? And the answer is, yeah, kinda. So that's a very recognizable degradation of a system. It just gets more corrupt over time, and the people with power use it to benefit themselves and their families and their friends. And after a while, you call it the Epstein class because that's exactly what it is. It's a group of self-interested people acting on their own behalf against yours. Okay.
Always remember, you are not agreeing with Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is agreeing with us.
And that's, again, bad. But it can limp along for a long time because that's just the nature of systems. That's the Ottoman Empire went from conquering half the world to being kind of pathetic and just basically focused on the harem. And in the end, it dissolved. But something different has happened to our system, and it's obvious recently. So it's one thing to have a system run by people who are looking out for their own best interest and not yours. Again, we've had that. It's another to have a system that's totally incapable of responding to reality. It is basically paralyzed. And unfortunately, ominously, that's the system that we now have. And we know that because the two greatest threats, arguably, in all recorded history, and those would be nuclear war and AI, are looming right in front of us. And no one in our society in a position of authority seems capable of responding at all or even really acknowledging that this is happening. It's like they're frozen, staring at the trees that approaches the windshield at 70 miles an hour. It really does feel that way. And if you listen carefully, that is where we are. So we are moving toward, on this trajectory, if it holds, we are moving toward a nuclear exchange because you have two conflicts, one...
Oh, God, I hate hearing that. I hate hearing that.
In the Middle East and one in the Near East, Eastern Europe, Ukraine and Iran, that are suddenly somehow merging. And what does that mean? It means a world war.
Welcome to the Valenti Videos Vindication Hour, where Valenti Videos is proven right yet again! God damn it! Oh!
And you have two sides with essentially inflexible positions. Not to get into the details, if you're following this, if you're one of the small percentage of Americans following this, you already know that there's no obvious resolution to either one of those conflicts anytime soon, and yet the stakes couldn't be higher. And of course, the key participants in both of those wars, now becoming one war, are nuclear armed, and they feel that this is, to use a very tired term, existential for them.
Oh, God.
And so unless, again, the angle of attack, the trajectory changes really soon, we are going to wind up inevitably with the use of weapons of mass destruction. And you have one participant, President of the United States, openly threatening that already on Truth Social, on the internet, for everyone to see. We're going to eliminate your civilization. Well, of course, you can't do that with tomahawks, but you can with nuclear weapons. So you have the President of the United States, whatever they tell you, openly threatening the use of nuclear weapons in a conflict that has no immediate or obvious resolution. So we're
And a conflict that we literally started to defend Israel.
Where's that going? Well, toward a nuclear strike. And what happens then, God knows. But if you can even live with that fact, if you can even say, or just acknowledge without words that, yeah, this could wind up with people unleashing nuclear weapons on civilian populations, you're already around the bend. You've already proven yourself incapable of leadership because that's crazy. That's
Jesus Christ. So yeah, no, even Tucker Carlson believes that we are approaching a nuclear exchange. I guess it wouldn't really be an exchange because the Iranians don't have nuclear weapons, but it wouldn't rule out a response. You know, like China said, if we use a nuclear weapon, all bets are off. And I firmly believe the Chinese would beat us in a war in less than 24 hours. I 100% believe. Dude, there are still Americans who think we would beat China in a war. Brother, we lost to Iran. We lost to Iran. We lost in Vietnam. We lost to the Taliban. We lost to Al-Qaeda. We lost every war we have ever waged since World War II. And in World War II, we barely fucking participated, bro. The U.S. military has always been a paper tiger. The only thing people fear is our nuclear arsenal. That's it. And if you don't think Trump knows that, boy, oh boy, you're deranged. Okay. Moving on here, we're going to talk about Gaza a little bit. So Trump posted his 15-point Gaza plan. Remember, he said that. He posted on Truth Social, said, we finally achieved a great peace in Gaza. Well, Trump's master, Benjamin Netanyahu, rejected that 15-point plan. And it looks like Netanyahu is going to have the final word. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu may have categorically rejected the new Board of Peace roadmap to disarm Hamas in Gaza, but that is unlikely to be the final word. The White House has not officially commented. However, it is reportedly not bothered by Netanyahu's statement and views it as campaign rhetoric in the run-up to a heated general election. Quote, we understand Bibi's political needs, the Israeli journalist Barak Ravid quotes a senior U.S. official as saying, using a nickname to refer to the Israeli leader. We have no problem with it as long as he continues to do what we ask, especially regarding restraining attacks in Gaza. Recent days have seen an apparent pause in Israel's strikes on Gaza, something Hamas has demanded when signing onto the U.S.-backed 15-point roadmap. I'm so sorry. Sorry about that. But there was another suggestion that Israel is ready to advance U.S. President Donald Trump's peace plan for Gaza, getting ready for the deployment of International Stabilization Force. The force is made up of international troops with the plan of being them to work with a new Palestinian police force to secure the territory. So, if you didn't read Trump's 15-point Gaza peace plan, you should look it up. I'm not kidding. It is spearheaded by Jared Kushner, and it involves taking the remaining Palestinian population and pushing them into what they call a security zone. that they just mean a concentration camp, and then building I'm not kidding about this, it's so mind-boggling, it sounds sci-fi, and then turning Gaza into a AI-powered resort with casinos and beachfront property and Trump towers, and there's no actual government leadership. It's all patrolled by autonomous targeting systems and AI in control of it, and it's insane. It's insane. It's fucking insane. There's another suggestion that Israel is ready to advance. Oh yeah, my bad. The expected construction for the first ISF base is to be scheduled to begin amid the ruins of Rafah in southern Gaza. So we're gonna have like an international Gestapo force built, and their headquarters is gonna be built upon the dead babies of Rafah. Oh my God. Yeah, so Trump announced a major milestone in the implementation of his plan, writing on his Truth Social platform. Trump said that the Board of Peace, if you don't know what the Board of Peace is, by the way, the Board of Peace it's like a fake UN replacement. Trump created the Board of Peace where you have to pay $1 billion to join the Board of Peace. So all of the people who joined it are just like fucking dictators from all over the fucking planet. You pay $1 billion and you get to be part of the Board of Peace, which is more like the Legion of Doom. Okay, if you know, like DC Comics. The deal is meant to be carried out in phases, with all weapons decommissioned and stored by a new Palestinian administration in Gaza, the Israeli forces withdrawing from more than 60% of Gaza that they currently control. Oh, it's so fucking crazy. It's so fucking crazy. And they're also calling for the total and complete disarmament of Hamas so that there is no longer a fighting force left to defend them from the disgusting, repugnant, apartheid, genocidal rape state known as Israel. So, as we know, Israel committed a genocide in Gaza and mass murdered literally between 300 and 600,000 of them. But there is a second step to that, which is preventing them from rising from the ashes. And by that, it is the spread of disease and plague and famine and starvation and drought, and at the same time limiting humanitarian aid that gets in there. So, trigger warning, this part is fucked up. Israel has bombed and devastated Gaza's sewage and sanitation infrastructure, and now deliberately blocks Palestinians from the landfills, machinery, and essential supplies needed to contain the resulting public health catastrophe. One consequence is a massive rat and pest infestation, with Palestinians, including children, being bitten in their sleep. Quick friendly reminder, during World War I, the overwhelming majority of casualties were killed by disease. They were not killed by ammunition, they were not killed by artillery, it's disease. 4 in 5 sewage pumping stations are not functioning, with some 40,000 cubic meters of untreated sewage flowing each day. By July, 60% of Gaza's population was living within 10 meters of sewage or human waste, and more than 900,000 people were exposed to garbage accumulating in residential areas, according to UN OCHA. Now, the reason why the Israelis are okay with this is because you don't have to classify that death as a murder from the Israelis, because it's technically disease. You know what I'm saying? Sure, the disease is brought about by Israel, but it's not going to be classified as as the IDF killing them. Rodents or pests were reported at 81% of displacement sites surveyed in April, affecting roughly 1.45 million Palestinians. Both of Gaza's sanitary landfills lie beyond the Israeli-imposed yellow line, and the UN says access remains banned by Israel. Israel also requires approval and blocks entry of machinery and spare parts needed to remove garbage and rubble, while engine oils, pest control chemicals, and other essential supplies remain severely restricted. Israel permitted 3 tons of rodenticide and 3,000 liters of pesticide into Gaza in May, but the UN said pest control efforts remained limited and a full response requires sustained supplies, heavy equipment, and access to landfills. Israel continues to block, with Gaza's sanitation system having completely collapsed. Here's a little video showing the the pest and rodent problem. The rat population in Gaza has increased dramatically after Israel destroyed the sanitation sewer systems, leading to the accumulation of garbage and rubble. These rats are not only chewing through clothing, bedding, and stored food, but they're also biting Palestinians. Dude, the fucking Israelis are a primitive, medieval, disgusting, inferior, subhuman group of vermin. Such vermin that they spread vermin to their fucking enemies.
هاي حالنا يا اخوان هاي حالنا في غزة شايفين كيف يا اخوان هاي حياتنا الله يفرج علينا يا رب شايفين يا جماعة الخير حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل اقسم بالله والله يا جماعة الخير ان الحياة صعبة مهما تتصور والله هذه الحياة ما بيرضاها حدا يعني هاي الفرق بالي بتفرج علي
Terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. All right, so I also just want to show you how Abdul El Sayed responded to the question about do you support any funding to Israel, and this is how you should be responding.
Can you clarify for us what your position is on funding for Israel if you do become a U.S. Senator? Are you opposed to all funding for Israel, period, military funding?
Yes.
I'm opposed to unconditional military aid for any country. That is Israel, yes, but that's also Egypt, where my family immigrated from. That's Pakistan, that's Saudi Arabia, that's UAE. And that's not because of a focus on what's happening anywhere except for a focus on what's happening here. We've got communities in my state where the median income is $14,000, and I believe they have a right to their tax dollars. I also believe in international law and upholding international law, and there are Leahy laws against dealing arms to countries who are engaged in human rights abuses. And I don't want to fund a foreign military that does genocide, apartheid, or has taken us to a war we don't need to fight. I believe in equal rights to peace, dignity, and self-determination for Jewish Israelis and Palestinians alike. I believe our responsibility, though, more than anything else, is to use our tax money here in Michigan to provide health care in Michigan, and schools in Michigan, and roads in Michigan, rather than to send it to a foreign government that might use it in the form of bombs and tanks to destroy infrastructure and schools and hospitals there.
What an incredible fucking answer.
Some people might hear that and say, well, does he support, funding defensive systems like the Iron Dome in Israel?
Fuck no. There's no difference between an offensive and defensive weapon, okay? Especially when you were committing a fucking genocide, then your defensive weapons are designed to sustain your genocide and curb all forms of resistance, which is approved by the United Nations. If there is an occupying force, the people who are being occupied have a right to defend themselves by any means necessary.
Do you?
I don't believe that there's really a difference between offensive or defensive weapons. And I also don't believe it's my responsibility to buy defensive weapons for a foreign government when our kids are defenseless against schools that have been underfunded for a very, very long time. My responsibility.
I love how he always pivots the conversation back to Michigan, because that's what the Michiganders are voting for. For Michigan. They're voting for the future of Michigan, not Israel. Why is this a topic of conversation?
As the next senator from Michigan is children in Michigan, rather than thinking about what's in the interest of a foreign government.
Okay, so that's a yes, that you are against funding to things like the Iron Dome.
I am against it in large part because I just don't understand why anybody thinks it's the right thing to do to send our tax dollars abroad to fund foreign militaries when our own kids barely get to go to schools that are functional.
Absolute fucking banger from our boy Abdul El Sayed. Shouts out to Abdul El Sayed, fan of the show Abdul El Sayed, Dr. Abdul El Sayed. Quick reminder of how fucked we are. Here's a little graph here. Inflation is totally wiping out wage gains. The financial squeeze is real for many Americans right now. Wage growth in the past year, 3.2%, lowest in 5 years. Inflation, 3.5%. Wage growth is not contributing to inflation right now. That means many workers will struggle in the months ahead. So essentially, the blue bar here is wage growth, okay? Now, you want wage growth to be going up. That's you making more money. And as you can see, it has only been going down. Meanwhile, inflation is climbing right back up, and right here, in February of 26, this is where we see the war in Iran begin. So while inflation rises, the value of your dollar is lessened, right? You need more dollars to buy the same amount of stuff. And at the same time, you're getting less dollars. So it's even worse than inflation. I believe it's called stagflation, where your wages go down while the amount of money you need goes up. We are so unbelievably outmatched here. All right, and here's Trump blaming the Republican Party. He's saying everybody's mad at the Republicans, but they're not mad at me.
The question is, and they're asking this question, and I've had some great polls recently, real polls, but they're great polls. If I don't run, will those people go out and vote?
He's literally talking about running a third term because he believes that if he doesn't run for a third term, nobody's going to vote Republican.
And that's the one thing I can't say. I'm going to ask him to, but I'm just watching guys like you and you.
And there's still people out there who say,
He can't run a third term. It's against the law.
you know what else is against the law? Raping children. He still did it.
You're very talented people. The question is, will they vote? Because a lot of them are very angry at Republicans, to be honest with you. They're
Why is
angry
that?
I don't know. I mean, they're angry at Republicans, but they're not angry at me.
Why?
They're not
They're not angry at me.
angry at me, but they are angry at Republicans.
Oh, except Donald, they are angry at you, and I've got the proof in the pudding. I'm going to show you the proof in the pudding. But first, I just want to remind you that Trump is very happy with everything that's going on because him and his fascist goons have accumulated hundreds of billions of dollars off of the suffering of the American people and the mass murder of foreign civilians.
We're taking a lot of oil from Venezuela, and we're getting along great with them. Billions and billions of barrels of oil is coming out of Venezuela. It's one of the most fertile places for oil in the world. And as you know, it was a 48-minute war, lasted 48 minutes. And we paid for the war with what we've taken out many, many, many
Yeah, it's a war when I win, and it's just a military conflict when I lose.
times. Where have you heard that before? You haven't heard that before. It's the old-fashioned way, right? It's the old-fashioned way. To the victor belong the spoils, right?
To the victor belong the spoils. Friendly reminder that every single dollar we received from Venezuelan oil was put into Donald Trump's private bank account in Qatar. Now, I say Donald Trump because there's Donald Trump and then there's the President of the United States. The President of the United States happens to be Donald Trump, but he did not put the money into the President's bank account or into America's bank account or into the U.S. Treasury. He put the money into Donald Trump's private bank account in Qatar.
And we're doing the same thing, by the way, in the lovely Islamic Republic of Iran. We're doing.
All right, so you want to see how voters are feeling? These are all Trump voters.
How do I feel? I feel totally betrayed.
So this guy, his fiance here was detained by ICE. I'm not sure whether or not she was deported, but we're going to watch two interviews here with Trump voters who feel betrayed.
I mean, you never think, or
By the way, real quick, we're 53 minutes into the video. If you're having a good time, if you're enjoying yourself, if you're becoming more educated, don't forget to help bolster independent media by like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this video with your group chat of dumb fuck idiots. If you want to support me financially, you could buy merch. You can click the thanks button down below. You can click the join button down below. You can also become a patron on Patreon. Thank you very much for any and all donations. You guys keep the fucking the bills paid, the lights on, food in Luigi's belly, and you keep the growth of independent media and the dismantling of these fascist authoritarian dictators.
I never thought a guy like me would ever be involved in anything like this.
I never thought the leopards would eat my face. Oh no, I never thought the leopards would eat my face. You voted for the party of leopards eating people's faces, and now you're surprised that the leopard is eating your fucking face.
8 officers, ICE agents, swarmed Jasmine, detained her, didn't tell us why, and rustled her off into a car. No explanation was given. I was just in total disbelief. Nothing like this has ever happened to me. You know, I have several businesses, I'm law-abiding, and I pay a lot of tax.
What would you say to somebody watching at home who may think, well, John, he's criticizing the president or the administration on this issue of immigration because of political reasons?
Oh, I'm definitely not. I voted for Trump. They are picking up law-abiding citizens.
Cute dog. Really cute dog.
They're destroying families, jobs.
You underscored, John, that you voted for the president in the most recent election, I assume.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that again. Not after this fiasco. This is like the Gestapo.
Oh! It's like the Gestapo. Hey, John. Who's been saying that since before it began? Leftists like me, like Hassan, like Kyle. We've been screaming from the bloody hills that these are fascists and they're creating a Gestapo force. And you expect me to pity you? I don't feel a fucking ounce of pity for you, motherfucker. I feel pity for the American people, for this entity of America, for the Statue of Liberty, who might as well cover her fucking face because of how disgraceful this nation has turned into because of people like you, John. You deported your fiance. You detained your fiance. Your vote had consequences, motherfucker. And now you want me to feel bad for you? Nah. Fuck you, suck my dick, and eat my ass.
I would never have thought the United States would act this way. Go after the criminals. We're all for that. But leave the mom and pops and the kids alone. Love, Jasmine.
Get fucked.
That's it.
Cry, pussy. You fucking did this to her. You fucking did this to her. More. Here's Trump voters at a fucking gas station on the verge of tears.
Is this how you expected the second Trump term to go?
No, not at all. I hoped it was going to be so much better.
He also promised no new foreign wars. We're obviously in this war in Iran, which is why we're seeing the gas prices so high. What do you make of the president not keeping those campaign promises?
I think he just told us what we wanted to hear to vote him back in.
What would your message be to him about the economy right now, about prices, about day-to-day life?
I would tell him, you promised us you would lower prices, bring back what it used to be.
I was hoping that gas was going to go down so I could do something, you know. You can't do anything with gas prices, and you just can't.
Does that say "Let's go, Brandon"? Does that say "Let's go, Brandon"? Do you have a Trump sticker on your car still? Are we so dead ass? You know what's funny? Is this fucking cracker ass bitch is gonna cry and mope and maul and seethe. Meanwhile, when Trump runs a third term, she's gonna vote for him again.
You can't afford to breathe at this point.
Are you regretting your vote right now?
I have the past 2 years, yeah, I have. I'm actually not even voting the next time.
Oh, yeah. Because the solution isn't to vote for socialists who want to help you. The solution isn't to vote for progressives. No, the solution is to just not participate. Well, I got a fucking rule. If you don't vote, you don't get the right to complain.
Hear a mother at a gas pump saying you can't afford to breathe anymore. Joining the
And yeah, no, I don't feel bad for that mother at all. I do feel bad for her children having to live with the consequences of her dumb fuck mother's mistake. Anyway, last thing I want to show you is just how dystopian of this shithole that we live in. The first annual Patriot Games has begun. May the odds be ever in your favor. Remember that? The Patriot Games? That's a real thing. And it's happening right now, where we got one boy, one girl, 2 athletes from each state. But get this. They're not picking these people based on their athletic skill. They're picking these children based on their loyalty to Donald Trump. Primarily white kids, mind you, primarily white kids. And also, they're not even from their states. They got like some fucking chick from California representing Massachusetts, some guy from Texas representing Puerto Rico. Oh God, this is the nightmare you live in. This is where your tax dollars are going.
Welcome back here to GMA, and it is the kickoff to the Patriot Games, a national athletic competition that brings together outstanding high school athletes from across the country to compete for scholarship money. ESPN's Laura Rutledge is anchoring the games that are taking place in Ohio, which are part of the nation's 250th birthday celebration. Hey, good morning, Laura.
Good morning.
It's Wipeout. It's Wipeout. Bro, the competition is like run over these little foot pedestals and then swing on the rope and catch the monkey bars and move over. It's not even a sport. It's just Wipeout.
Rhiannon, and yes, I am actually at the beginning of the 270.
It's American Ninja Warrior.
Foot long course here that was uniquely designed for the Patriot Games. Our athletes will actually start with these Liberty steps that you see here. They're only 12 inches wide, 4 feet in the air. This course is very challenging. Some of the athletes were out here yesterday practicing and running through it, but they're so excited for an incredible celebration of competition centered around America's youth. This morning, more than 100 of the nation's top teenage athletes are gathering at Spire Academy in Northeast Ohio for the first ever Patriot Games.
To be here representing Tennessee, it's an honor. I'm like really proud to be here.
Do you think it's coincidental that at the start of this, they were like, there's got to be a black kid somewhere. Can we get the black kid in there? And they go, is there an Asian? Like, they were like, we can't have the optics just be white Christian kids who support Donald Trump, which is 90% of the fucking people there.
The 3-day competition is part of the Trump administration's Freedom 250 initiative, celebrating America's 250th birthday.
This is some shit that you would see in The Boys.
State, U.S. territory, and some tribal nations are represented by one male and one female athlete between the ages of 14 and 17.
Got a big flex right there, both excellent. Thanks a lot, man. Good luck out there.
When I walked on the campus, I was kind of just blown away.
It was almost breathtaking.
Athletes will compete in a variety of sporting competitions designed to test strength, endurance, and teamwork. The games will culminate with a 270-foot-long obstacle course run, with the winners receiving a
270 feet is fuck all.
$25,000 scholarship prize.
Oh my God, they're competing for scholarships because nobody in the United States of America can afford college. Oh, I got an idea. Let's not give them free college. Let's not give them affordable college. Let's make them compete in a fucking Ninja Warrior course, and the winners will get a scholarship. What the fuck?
President Trump is expected to attend portions of the competition. The young athletes began arriving Friday and have been practicing on site in preparation for today's kickoff. The Patriot Games will be streamed on ESPN platforms, and then on Thursday, a primetime ESPN on ABC special comes your way. Guys, I'm going to go try my hand at running this course,
Yes.
okay? I'll be back later.
I bet you could do it.
I mean, that looks tough.
It does look really.
Dude, there's something about morning show talk hosts that literally give me uncanny vibes. These are reptilian shapeshifters.
Tough. That is a great story, Laura. Thank you so much for bringing that to us. We appreciate it.
Unfucking believable. Okay, that's all I've got for this video. However, you're going to want to tune into the next video because we're going to be talking about how moderate Democrats are preparing to wage war against the ascendant left, the Democratic Socialists of America, progressives, Abdul El-Sayed, all AOC, all that jazz. And this one moderate group is planning on raising $15 million to fight back against the rise of progressive values. So you can add that onto the hundreds of millions of dollars AIPAC is spending to influence the United States of America. We're going to do that in the second video. If you're here live, you stay because we got to move into it. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Costs you nothing, helps me immensely. If you want to support the channel financially, please do. Buy merch, hit the thanks button, hit the join button, become a patron on Patreon. Big shouts out to every single one of you who's ever donated a single dollar to the channel. And do me one last favor, click the video on screen. It's a banger, and I know bangers. All right, that's an absolute banger. I gotta take a second in between takes here. Oh, I gotta take a second in between takes. Good God. That was a long banger. That was an 1 hour and 6 minute long video, but an absolute banger if I do say so myself. I was on it, boss. I was hitting every note. I was hitting every single fucking note. And that ain't easy to do live, I'll tell you that, but that's why you tune into the Valenti Videos live stream, so you can watch a theater kid go butt wild. Buck wild. I said butt. So you can watch a theater kid lose his fucking mind over the rise of fascism in the United States of America. That's why you're here live, and I love you all. Thank you very much. Hey, Chris, how was your weekend? It was good. It was very good. I got to play the Gears of War E-Day beta pretty much all weekend, which I loved. I specifically loved the Horde mode. I leveled up my marksman class all the way to level 10. It was fantastic. Oh, it was great. It was a great weekend. I also got to take Luigi to my mom's house. This morning I took Beans to the vet, got him all the shots that he needed and a little checkup. They said he's all good. He's good, except he shouldn't be eating Fancy Feast, apparently. I give Beans Fancy Feast wet food. They said they've never met a cat that didn't like Fancy Feast, which is not a good sign. Which is a really fair point. Didn't think about it. The vet actually said Fancy Feast is like McDonald's for cat food. So I have to swap him over to something else. I think it's called like Hill Science or Science Diet or something like that. Love you, Chris. My daily routine is driving home from work, smoke a little something, and then listen to Valenti. Go Birds, fuck guys, free Palestine. Thank you, dog. I appreciate you. I appreciate that $5 donation. Go Birds, I guess. You know, go Birds. Got to the top of the laser tag leaderboards. Oh yeah, I played laser tag. I went 122 and 24 in laser tag. It was like a 4-point-something kill-death ratio. It was unbelievable. I was leading fucking charges. There was a point in there where I was clearing out so many people, I started to yell like I was the fucking Punisher. I was moving through the prison, which is point B when you play domination, going... It was literally, I mean, Nelson can attest to that. I was screaming like the Punisher, just fucking mollywopping kids on semi-automatic. It was unfucking real. Swear to God. It was insane. No, it was insane. It was insane. I had a dream last night that you did it. Oh, say, can you see? Yeah, no, that's just a dream. That's just a dream. Anyway, welcome. Thanks for becoming a loyalist, Mather Wrestler 219. I really appreciate that. All right. So the second video, we're going to be talking about how it's going to be the war on the left. It's going to be the divide between the moderates and the progressives. We're going to be talking a little bit about Oliver Larkin. We're going to watch a Robert Reich interview. I'm going to try and help you guys find your way to volunteer to help out. Friend of the show, Oliver Larkin. Shouts out to you, Oliver, if you're watching. Maybe I should interview Oliver before, the polls open. Oliver is a friend of mine. I have his phone number. I could call him up. We could schedule an interview with him. I know he's very, very, very busy, but maybe if he's got like 20 minutes or something, or even less, 10 minutes, I could do like a Zoom interview or something with him. I'll give him a ring. We're also going to be talking about Nancy Mace, the beans-eating, farting-ass, demented cunt from the 7th Circle of Hell. It's going to be great. We're going to be watching that. And then a little bit of Abdul El-Sayed. Oh, and of course, I've got a real treat for you. Mark Levin losing his fucking mind over our boy Hank Pecker.
Hi, Weenie. You okay, little mama? Did you have a good nap? A little napoots? A big stretch from a little dragon. Hi, baby. Come here. Come here, little mama. Come here. We're gonna go outside when I'm done streaming. We're gonna go to the dog park. You're gonna hang out with Scooby. Luigi made friends with because remember, Luigi's a mini dachshund. She made friends with a regular dachshund named Scooby. It's weird. She's racist. She doesn't like any dogs other than dachshunds. She's very racist. Hi, Mama. What are you doing? You want to say hi to the stream? Hi, little mom. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What is that? Oh, that's a tick. Let me get that tick. I know. Oh, you've got 2 ticks on you. Okay, hold on. Get those ticks before we move on. Sorry, guys. This takes importance.
Oh, it's still alive, that little fucker. Let me put him in the ashtray and burn him to death. Luigi. Come here, Mama. Let me get the second one. Oh. Oh. Second one, Wiener. Honey. Show me the tick. The other ticks. There's okay. Oh. Okay. Sorry, guys. She had a tick, and I had to get that. Is that it? You good? Good job. Sorry, you took a flip there when I tried to put you down. She took a fucking tumble. I'm always worried about because of her little spine. After her spine surgery, took a little tumble. You're okay. Okay. Let me put her down. All right. Give me 1 second, gang. After that tumble? All right. Still run around. Okay. Oh. Okay. Why are you shaking? She's okay. What was wrong with her spine? She got something called IVDD, and her back legs stopped working, and she needed to get a spinal surgery to fix it. Oh no, why is this one coming off? Go back. Go back to where you belong. You okay, Mama? Little girl? You okay? You're okay. English. Father, I am okay. You hear that? That was Luigi.
I love you. I love you. I'm sorry I put you down like that. Sorry.
Jumped out of my arms and then you took a flippy McTumbleton. A flippity McTumbleton. All right. Wow. Wow. This is why Chris is better than Hassan. I have a button. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm always worried about her, man. I'm always worried about her spine. I'm always worried. I feel like the father of like a disabled child, like a physically disabled child. Always worried about her little back. Big sneeze. You okay? Yeah, you're okay. Little itchy? You want me to itch it?
I'll itch it. I'm itching. I'm scratching it for you.
Okay. Whew. All right, y'all ready? We can move into the second one. Y'all ready? Your dog got a tick in the corner of his eye? Bro, I got you with one worse. Luigi once had a tick on her puss. And it was embedded, bro. And I had to get a tweezer. And boy, I was like, I'm so sorry, mama. I'm so sorry. And had to get that thing off. It was fucking brutal, man. She did not like that. Oh, it was absolutely brutal. Yeah, it was fucking brutal. Nightmare fuel. Nightmare fuel. My girlfriend just asked if I named the dog after Luigi Mangione. No, I named Luigi after Luigi from Mario and Luigi. However, Luigi Mangione behind prison bars, smoking a cigar, and it's made out of, or smoking a blunt, and that whole artwork is made out of blunts. That artwork, that artwork, that artwork, and that artwork are all made out of blunt wraps. Very cool. Very cool. Get a tick tool. You weren't supposed to pull on them. I have a tick tool. I pull them clean out. They're still alive and they crawl on me. I drop them in a ashtray and then I burn them to death because they do not deserve a painless death. They deserve a slow one. Slow and painful one. Are you okay? You look okay, but I'm always worried. All right. She's good. Y'all ready to move on? Twisting breaks the heads off. I don't twist them. Just pull them clean off. Dude, this yellow one is like poking off. Okay, who was the artist, Chris? My friend RJ. You can get his stuff on Instagram. Let me pull him up real quick. Oh, I did get his name right. RJ Izquierdo. But yeah, he's got a lot of cool blunt art. Let me see, like, here's one of his recents.
I possibly can. I'm gonna go through all the original Pokemon starting today. I'm gonna sell them all for $100 each. They're gonna be different sizes. Some are gonna be shiny, some are gonna be rare, and I'm gonna be releasing them.
Here's more. It's got a lot. It's got a lot of cool artwork, man. All of them are made out of blunt wraps. Very, very cool stuff. And yeah, you can buy them. You can buy them. They're available. All available on oh, this is that one. Custom piece for Valenti videos. Hell fucking yeah. This is the one I have on the wall right behind me. I requested that. He does take requests, believe it or not. Oh, the camera. Fix the camera real quick. You okay? Luigi? Tell me you're good. She's good. She's walking. This one's one of my favorites. You guys remember this? You guys remember this? Very cool. All right. Get to work. Here we go. Kirk in. Kirk in. You dirty communist, socialist, Marxist, Leninist, Maoist, communist. That's what you are. Sorry, I was role-playing as the DNC. This video, we're going to be talking about the war on the left right now, which is between the establishment Democrats, who are, you know, ideologically Zionists. They support American imperialism. They don't want any change to the status quo, which is why we call them doormats for fascism. And then the progressive candidates and the DSA and, you know, the rise of the actual left, you know, people like myself, people who believe that, you know, your tax dollars shouldn't be sent overseas to fund foreign militaries, people that believe that your tax dollars should be spent on a single-payer healthcare system so everybody can have access to affordable healthcare, if not free healthcare. People who believe in affordable college, people who believe in social safety nets, right? That's the war that is going on right now, as we saw with the Michigan Senate race, where you had two Democrats. One is Dr. El Sayed, and the other one was Haley Stevens. Haley Stevens received upwards of $80 million from giant corporations, including $46 million from AIPAC, whereas Abdul El Sayed was getting like $5 and $10 donations from us, and he had endorsements from the United Auto Workers and other unions and, you know, like worker-powered organizations. But what we have here is a moderate group that is called, what is it called? Third Way, that is preparing to raise $15 million for what they call is the next war that is coming. Now, they don't mean a war with the fascists in power. They mean a war with people like me, a war with people like you. It is absolutely demented, so we're going to cover that article that is from the New York Times. We're going to cover a little bit of Robert Reich's review on this because he already made a video in response to it. We're going to talk about other candidates who need to be voted in, like Oliver Larkin in the 25th Congressional District of Florida. We're going to talk about the GOP's plans to try and ruin the reputations of any and all progressives. We're going to look at Nancy Mace, the beans-eating, farting-ass cunt, who is the most Islamophobic member of Congress that has ever lived. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is we're going to listen to Mark Levin have an actual fucking heart attack over our boy Hassan Piker. So a lot to talk about. Not too much time to talk about it. So before we do dive in, hi, how are you? I'm Chris Valenti. Welcome to the Valenti VOD. This is real independent media. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser, a sponsor, a billionaire, a government, a PAC, any of that jazz. This entire channel is grassroots funded by you, the viewer. So if you want to help support this channel, there's a couple of ways you can. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. And then if you want to support me financially, there's a couple of ways you could do that. You could buy merch like the posters behind me. We also have mugs, hoodies, low-cut tops, stickers, all that jazz located down below. You can click the thanks button down below to tip me directly. You can click the join button down below to become a member of the channel for $5. And last but certainly not least, you can become a patron on Patreon by donating $5, $6, $7, whatever you want to donate. It goes an incredibly long way, and it gives you access to every single one of my videos on Patreon if you don't have YouTube Premium and you don't want to watch the ads. Without further ado, let's dive right into this story. Moderate Democrats prepare for war against the ascendant left. One moderate group says the progressive wins are, quote, deeply troubling and is planning a $15 million effort against democratic socialism. The embattled establishment of the Democratic Party searched furiously for a political reset after Dr. Abdul El-Sayed's progressive victory in Michigan handed the party's long-dominant moderate wing its most painful defeat of the year. Some strategists urgently pressed to adopt a sharper edge to tap into the fury among Democratic voters that was felling its centrist candidates. Others wanted to attack democratic socialism, undercutting a budding movement now set to have far more than a toehold in the next Congress. Yet another young Democratic Socialist ousted an incumbent congressman in Detroit on Tuesday. "We are preparing for the next war that is coming," said Jonathan Cohen, the president of Third Way, a leading centrist Democratic group, revealing to the New York Times a new $15 million effort between now and 2028 to discredit democratic socialism. So, from now on, moving forward, you have to understand that when you see attack ads on our DSA candidates or our any progressive candidates, you need to understand that that is coming from Israeli supporting, Zionist supporting, imperialist supporting, genocidal fucking maniacs who only care about fattening their pockets and maintaining the status quo. That is what Third Way is. I need you to understand, Third Way is equally as terrible as AIPAC. Dr. El-Sayed's win was not the blowout that some pre-election polls had predicted, but his narrow nomination in one of the country's signature swing states still represented a critical moment for the party's middle, which had previously sought to cast the far-left's success as contained within the country's most urban and liberal corridors. Their fear: Dr. El-Sayed was paving a path for a progressive to seize the party's presidential nomination in 2028 and then go on to lose the general election. Quote, "It is deeply troubling to see radical far-left candidates winning in places that are potentially presidential swing states," Mr. Cohen added. Most party leaders, from Governor Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan to Senator Chuck Schumer of New York to former Vice President Kamala Harris, quickly embraced Dr. El-Sayed's Senate candidacy, given the stakes of the Michigan seat at the play. But some moderates see the emerging left as a danger. The fact that Democrats recently put Michigan in the early lineup of presidential nominating states, a race just 18 months away, only heightened the significance of Dr. El-Sayed's victory. For now, the next big test is only a week away. In Wisconsin, Francesca Hong, a Democratic Socialist and state assemblywoman representing the progressive hotbed of Madison, has emerged as the party's frontrunner for governor in another key battleground state. We need Francesca Hong to win. Francesca Hong, Democratic Socialist state assemblywoman, has emerged as the Democratic frontrunner for the governor of Wisconsin. So if you're watching this from Wisconsin, get out and vote for Francesca Hong. Mr. Cohen said the $15 million his group would spend through the 2028 was not directed at individual candidates. Instead, the group has plans to target the Democratic Socialists of America movement. So you're raising $15 million not to highlight why you should be voted in or your beliefs should be voted in, but instead $15 million to highlight why they shouldn't be voted in. And all you're going to be pointing to are just worker-first policies. This is fucking disgraceful. He said which he believes poses a mortal danger for Democrats. Excuse me, I have a burp coming. He said the effort would include opposition research into DSA polling, social media programs, and educating Democratic activists and leaders. It would target both proud Democratic Socialists and those such as Dr. El-Sayed, whom he derided as performing the DSA dodge, flirting with Democratic Socialists enough to get their organizing manpower and support while remaining distant enough to avoid the explicit label. Real quick, chatter said Francesca Hong is a Zionist. Incorrect! How this discrediting campaign will affect the current midterm cycle, potentially undercutting Democratic nominees in swing state races and undermining the party's chances of retaking Congress, remains unclear. Centrist Democrats say their purpose is to make progressives understand the risks of some of the more radical planks of the official DSA platform. Defunding the Department of War, which we need. Our military gets far too much funding and they're incapable of even opening the Strait of Hormuz. Taking steps towards fully abolishing the police and prison system. While I'm not a prison and police abolitionist, however, I do believe that prisons should be more so focused on rehabilitation, and I believe that police should be focused on targeting criminals rather than just being an extension of the federal government. Enacting reparations, we absolutely need that, and establishing a 32-hour work week. I absolutely support that. The upside of being associated with more extreme movements is you get attention and real and perceived energy and outsider status, said Liam Kerr, the co-founder of another centrist group called Welcome Pack. Mr. Kerr said the far left was currently receiving all of these benefits without the baggage of particular positions, a dynamic he hoped would shift with added attention. Okay, so let's listen to Robert Reich's review here. We love Robert Reich.
Democrats need to grow a spine. I've been around politics for 50 years. I've witnessed this again and again. Milquetoast Democrats lose to Republicans, have an existential crisis, and then claim it's time to
move to the center. The Democratic Party should move to the center. I think they need to move to the center.
When Hubert Humphrey lost to Nixon, Democrats said it was time for the party to move to the center. When Jimmy Carter lost to Reagan, move to the center. When Walter Mondale lost to Reagan, just a little bit further. When Michael Dukakis lost to George H.W. Bush, center. I saw it up close and personal in 1994 when Democrats got walloped in the midterms. After that, President Bill Clinton announced that
the era of... Real quick, Chatter just said, or Mod actually just said, hot take, I'm a prison abolitionist. Then where do we put Donald Trump? Where do we put Stephen Miller? Where do we put Pete Hegseth? Where do we put the entirety of Trump's cabinet who are war criminals? There needs to be somewhere to fucking put those people.
big government is over. What did he mean by that?
The gulag. A gulag is a form of prison.
Policies that seem politically expedient.
Y'all are spamming gulag as if a gulag is not a form of prison.
Or moderate at the time, but had devastating consequences. Cuts to welfare programs. And the deregulation of Wall Street. With every big loss to Republicans since, where have the Democratic establishment, donors, and talking heads claimed the party needed to go?
Center.
Center. But where is the center anymore between Democrats and Republicans? Halfway between truth and lies? Between democracy and oligarchy? Between freedom and fascism? By moving to the so-called center, Democrats have failed to fight the forces that led us to Donald Trump. Widening inequality, economic insecurity, and the unchecked political power of corporations and the rich. Now is not the time for Democrats to retreat to the center. It's no time for compromise or Republican-light policies. Democrats must hold Donald Trump accountable, not capitulate to him. Democrats must oppose the cruel MAGA agenda of deporting millions of undocumented immigrants who are so vital to our communities. They must defend LGBTQ+ people from attacks. They must stand on the side of reproductive freedom. Democrats should call out the oligarchs who are taking over our system by buying up media platforms and turning them into right-wing cesspools and making gigantic campaign contributions in exchange for tax cuts and rollbacks of health and safety and environmental protections. And they should stop drinking from the corporate money trough themselves. It's time for Democrats to get big money out of American politics. Democrats must listen to the millions of people who have fallen behind and are crying out for the status quo to be shaken up on their behalf. Now is the time for Democrats to build on what the Democratic Party
Fucking love FDR, baby. Socialist king.
used to do before it tried to move to the center. Comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. Strengthen safety nets, take on corporate greed, make the super rich pay their fair share. Fight for unions and shepherd an economy where profits are shared with the workers who make them possible. Because there is no center between a government of oligarchs and a government of the people.
I fucking love Robert Reich, man. See, and the thing is, Republicans and establishment Democrats see this and think that Robert Reich is a fucking terrorist. That's actually where we're at in American democracy, which is why we need somebody like Oliver Larkin. Oliver Larkin is running in the 25th Congressional District of Florida. He is a Democratic socialist. He went on Fox News and called Trump a pedophile and then was immediately kicked off the air. He's an anti-Zionist. He is an overall incredible candidate. And if you live in Florida's 25th Congressional District, you absolutely have to vote for him. He is now within 2 points of Jared Moskowitz. Jared Moskowitz is a quote-unquote Democrat, but he calls himself a DeSantis Democrat. Hey, dumb fuck, that's called a Republican. And also, when asked about his take on the Iran war, he said he agrees with Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham, who committed treason, traveling to Israel and being coached by Netanyahu and coaching Netanyahu on how to convince Trump to wage this illegal and offensive war in the name of Israel. That Lindsey Graham, who also said that he wanted to paradrop rifles all across Iran so that the people would rise up and start killing each other. That's a real thing, he said. So if you want to help out Oliver Larkin, this is where you're going to go. You're going to go to oliverforcongress.com/volunteer. There are many different ways that you can help his candidacy. You can just donate with this button here. You can donate anything, $1, $2, $5. You can also phone bank for him. You can door knock for him. There's a lot of different things that we could do, but we need Oliver Larkin to win, and the margins are far too slim. We need every last fighter on deck. But it is not just the establishment Democrats who are coming after our leftist candidates. It is also the GOP, which is very expected. The GOP plans socialism telethon at the midterm convention. Republicans plan to use their first ever midterm convention in Dallas next month to mount a sweeping, made-for-primetime case that Democrats have become captive to their activist left, Axios has learned. So essentially, they're going to run this like multiple advertisements, and they're probably going to be the most Islamophobic, Red Scare propaganda shit you've ever heard in your fucking life. Why it matters. With the Führer's approval rating in the 30s and his war in Iran weighing on the economy, fascists don't want the November 3rd midterm to just be a referendum on his presidency. They're essentially planning a "but they're worse" campaign targeting the ascendant Democratic left and socialism. Driving the news. Fascists will make progressive politicians and activists recurring characters throughout the September 9th through 10th convention. Oh my god, it's going to be right on the anniversary of Charlie Kirk's murder, bro. They're literally going to be saying that, like, Islamist communists killed Charlie Kirk, Garen fucking Teet, and did 9/11. It's right around 9/11 and Charlie Kirk's assassination at the American Airlines Center in Dallas. Fascist operatives spent months compiling footage of Democratic figures, including left-wing commentator Hassan Piker and Texas U.S. Senate candidate James Tallarico, that they'll use throughout the convention to paint Democrats as outside the mainstream. Our video trove is endless, a convention source told Axios. Organizers will particularly focus on Abdul El-Sayed, the Democratic nominee for Senate in Michigan, who backs Medicare for all and criticizes Israel. Excuse me. The Fuhrer has blasted El-Sayed, a Muslim, as a communist and a man of hate who hates Israel. El-Sayed, an epidemiologist, has said he's a capitalist who disagrees with Israel's actions in Gaza, not his, quote, sisters and brothers of the Jewish faith. Zoom in. Months of polling shaped the GOP convention, organizers say. Everyday Americans will tout fascist achievements on cutting taxes, lowering prescription drug costs, and improving border security, a tactic organizers say worked at the 2024 convention. What's funny about this is the only people who had taxes cut were the billionaire class. Nobody has seen lower prescription drug costs except for the pedophile Führer and his fascist goons. And we have not improved border security whatsoever. A tactic organizers say worked at the 2024 convention. Organizers believe that will reinforce their argument that fascists are focused on kitchen table issues, while Democrats have been overtaken by left-wingers whose policies will hurt Americans. The convention will be making that argument at a time when many fascists have been frustrated by the Führer's lack of focus on the economy and affordability issues. Fascists will also spotlight the Führer's tax exemption for some tipped income, crime-focused urban policies, and the regime's new child investment accounts. Other points of focus will be Vice President Vance's, quote, anti-fraud task force and Health Secretary Robert Felch Kennedy Jr.'s Maha movement. The Führer strategists believe Maha can again help broaden the fascist coalition. As for the increasingly unpopular war in Iran, the fascists will make the case that the Führer has taken steps to protect Americans. Here's what else to expect. Vance will speak at the evenings of September 9th and the Führer on September 10th. That is the one-year anniversary of Charlie Kirk's assassination. The Führer is expected in the convention hall both nights. Secretary of State Marcus Aurelius Rubius, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, and some other regime officials will have big speaking roles, as will up-and-coming midterm candidates, UFC figures, and celebrities. Unlike in 2024, when donors and delegates filled the floor, the crowd in Dallas will mostly be fascists. The convention will commemorate the first anniversary of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Fascist operatives Justin Caporali and Tony Say are playing major organizational roles as they did for the 2020 and 2024 conventions. Reality check. The convention will test whether fascists can move voters towards supporting the Führer's domestic agenda, which polls consistently have shown are unpopular. In a CNN poll out last week, 73% thought the Führer wasn't paying enough attention to key domestic issues. 65% said his policies were worsening economic conditions. The other side, Democrats decided against holding a midterm convention. DNC spokesperson Kendall Whitmer told Axios, while everyday Americans struggle to pay their bills, fill up their tanks, or put food on the table, fascists are holding a multi-million-dollar celebration to satisfy the pedophile Führer's massive ego and tie vulnerable fascist candidates closer to his failed agenda. I actually think this will backfire tremendously. It'll be exactly what they said at the end there. It'll be pomp and circumstance, and it'll just remind Republicans and American voters how much money these fucking pieces of shit are willing to spend in their propaganda campaigns instead of actually helping the working class. All right. So now, speaking of propaganda campaigns, so Nancy Mace, the farting and shitting, beans-eating ass demon cunt from the 9th circle of hell, believe it or not, she posted on Twitter saying that no Muslim should be allowed to hold elected office in the United States of America. She also advocated for the deportation of every single Muslim in the United States of America, and she is being having her toes held to the fire here. Let's check it out.
Before we go, I want to ask you about something you posted online. A few days ago, you wrote, quote, "Every single Muslim holding public office in America is a Trojan horse and a threat to both national security and our republic." And then today...
Meanwhile, the real Trojan horse is so clearly and evidently AIPAC. It is so clearly AIPAC. It is packaged as a gift. That's what it is. It's a gift. It's money. And we welcomed it into the United States of America, and then these fucking Zionist Israelis came bursting out of AIPAC and have taken over our entire fucking country from within. That's the real Trojan horse.
You essentially added, if not...
I'd also like to point out how absolutely fuck ugly this rank-ass cunt really is.
...wanting to be blown up, stabbed, or rammed by...
Let's go back and listen.
...is a Trojan horse and a threat to both national security and our republic. And then today, you essentially added, if not wanting to be blown up, stabbed, or rammed by a car by a radical Islamist in the United States of America makes us Islamophobes, then so be it. Are you saying that anyone who is Muslim is a threat to this country?
That's not what I said.
That is exactly what you said.
And that's not what I said. Number one, I think we do have a real issue with radical
I mean, it sounds
Islamic
like that's what you're saying.
No, I was talking about elected officials. When you look at what has just happened.
So any Muslim elected officials, sorry to cut you off, but just...
No, don't be sorry. Cut her off. Don't let this fucking beans-eating ass bitch spew any more of her Islamophobic racist rhetoric out of her cunt cockholster.
To be clear, any elected Muslim officials.
Mamdani campaigned with an unindicted co-conspirator of the 1993 World Trade Center
Unindicted means he didn't fucking do it, you dumbass bitch.
bombings. You have Abdul al-Sayed, who was campaigning with Hassan Piker, who said America deserved 9/11. Yes, we should be very concerned.
He said he regretted those comments, but I take your point.
But that believe in this radical Islam ideology where women are covered head to toe. It's very oppressive. Where
that is literally what you white Christian Taliban, Al-Qaeda motherfuckers are trying to do. You want women to cover up entirely and stay in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant. You are trying to repeal a woman's right to fucking vote.
Seen grooming gangs over
But
in
Congresswoman,
Europe,
there's no indication that Mayor Mamdani has brought any of those ideals to New York City governance, or that just being Muslim allows you, brings those in.
If you're playing footsie with an imam here in America who's an unindicted co-conspirator of the 1993 World Trade Center bombings, yeah, we have a real problem with that kind of ideology.
But Congresswoman, when you make a blanket statement like that, it implies that every Muslim member of Congress or leadership, folks who, by the way, are elected by American citizens.
I am deeply concerned about Michigan Democrats nominating a guy hanging out with Hassan Piker, who said America deserved 9/11, who has a framed photo of the Twin
Which he's
Towers
responded
being
to and says he
blown
regrets
up.
those comments. But yes, keep going.
Yeah, but I mean, this is who he's hanging out with, this kind of person who's promoting, communist ideology. This is not.
He's not promoting communist ideology. He's promoting democratic socialism. These are two different things.
Not something. America's not built on those values. And in the future, when our granddaughters are wearing burqas to school, we're going to look
There's
back
no
and say,
indication that
"How
that
did
is
this happen?"
happening on a wide basis. Folks that are getting
Have
into
you seen
office.
Did you see the parade in Chicago today? Have you seen Dearborn? In Dearborn,
An
Michigan,
expression of
one the
culture,
mayors in
Congresswoman, is
Michigan
different than a
is gonna
blanket
hold a
city
parade.
policy.
It's the guy complaining about the call to prayer 5 times a day. They're trying to push these people out and our values out, and that's wrong. I think this is a conversation that we have to have. What are our values and what do they look like? I don't want to hear the call to prayer 5 times a day in an American city. I think
if you
that's
don't want to
wrong.
hear
It's
it,
not our
that's okay.
values.
The First Amendment, protects from freedom of religion. If you don't want to.
Unfucking believable how this fucking demon cunt is allowed to hold any position of office. She deserved to be thrown in fucking prison. She should have her children taken away from her, and she should be fucking sterilized so she doesn't taint this planet with any more of her scum-sucking spawn. Fucking evil cunt. Okay, now we're going to listen to Abdul El-Sayed here, because Trump posted a picture of Trump and his whore of a wife, and it said one version of America, and then they posted a picture of Abdul El-Sayed and his wife and said another form of America. Now, the difference there, I believe, is that Abdul and his wife probably love each other and have sex, whereas you, Donald Trump, you rape your wives, and your wives fucking hate you.
Speaking of President Trump, last night he posted on social media a photograph of him and First Lady Melania Trump in formal attire, next to a photograph of you in your.
And oh my God, of course, he's putting the entire fucking name. You know, Trump says Barack Hussein Obama, kind of to be like, look, this guy's a Muslim. Now he's doing the same fucking thing with Abdul's whole name, Abdul Rahman Mohammed El-Sayed. They never called him by his first name, by his whole name, until he fucking won the primary.
And your wife, you appear to be in a restaurant booth or something. Your wife is a psychiatrist. She's wearing a hijab. The caption was two very different Americas. What was your response when you saw that?
Yeah, he's right. One in which your overlords are two people who don't like each other but joint in the interest of making billions of dollars off of you, or two people who genuinely love each other, enjoyed some pancakes together, want to come together to build the kind of America where they can raise a family and know that that family is going to have the good things. So yes, you got two different visions of America. Donald Trump's vision is the one you're living in right now. Can you afford your gas? Can you afford your groceries? Do you believe, when you look your kids in the eye, that they're going to have a better future than you did? And Sarah and I are running because when we look our daughters in the eye, Amelie and Sirine, we want them to believe that they're every bit as able to have a better future than the one that they could have had under the Trump administration, that they can live together with their sisters and their brothers in America in a way where they lock arms to build the good things that they deserve together, where they know they'll have the health care that they need and good jobs, and that they don't have to go 15 minutes and know that there are kids who live 15 minutes away whose lives are very, very different than theirs because we've been for far too long okay with a level of inequality in this country. I want them to live in an America where they can breathe clean air and drink clean water. And actually, Sarah and I like each other. I don't know about the First Lady and the President, but from...
Ooh. Ooh, throwing shots. No, we know damn well that Melania fucking hates Donald. I don't know who's fucking Melania, but it's not Donald. Somebody is fucking Melania. My money's on Pete Hegseth.
From what I've heard, it's a bit of a rocky road.
Incredible. Okay, now the last thing I want to show you is a little treat here. This is the disgusting Zionist traitor, Mark Levin. And he is, as you know, he's always been freaking out about Hassan Piker. He's probably Hassan Piker's #1 op. If not, #1 is probably Jonathan Greenblatt, the head of the Apartheid Defense League. But this crash out is so fucking funny that I felt like I had to show it to you. This is the level of Hassan derangement syndrome that the right-wing authoritarian fascists have. Watch this.
That party, it's not merely susceptible to now, it is celebrating the likes of an al-Sayed. It is celebrating, it is campaigning with the likes of a Hassan Puker. It is backing as a candidate in New Jersey for the House of Representatives a man who was the interpreter for the blind sheik.
The interpreter for the blind sheik!
For God's sakes! And we're supposed to play stupid? We're supposed to play dumb? How dare you raise these concerns and these issues? Do we have the will to survive as a society? Do we have the will to live as a people? Do we have the desire to protect?
Bring me Spider-Man!
Our country and our culture and our lifestyle? Defend what has been fought for by generation after generation? Handed to us on a silver platter? Is this the generation that's going to surrender our country to this enemy? Yes or no?
He's going to have a fucking aneurysm.
There was a time, not so long ago, when one generation ensured that the next generation and future generations would live in a country better than the country we live in.
Yeah, that's your generation, you boomer cuck. You want to know why your generation holds, and this isn't a joke, trillions of dollars of wealth? It's because of socialist policies enacted by FDR. That's why. And after decades of the erosion of these socialist policies, we, Gen Z, are the first generation of Americans that are going to be worse off than our fucking parents because of men like you, Mark. Think you did this!
By using the Constitution, by using the private sector, by using...
Dude, this is a man I want to debate. This is a man that I would go toe-to-toe with in a debate because we're equally fucking demented. Me on the right side of history. Him on the side of the fascists. But, oh, a debate with me, we'd going back and forth. He'd be like, Hassan Bucher! And I'd be going, Donald Trump! And we'd be getting Gilbert Gottfried's spirit resurrected from the dead. Oh, it would be incredible.
Using our brains and our hard work. Now we have people, affordability. You can't afford a taco. Are you kidding me? They want a free ticket on education. They want a free ticket on everything. And if you don't give it to them, they're talking up socialism. They're talking up communism. Oh, woe is me. Woe is me. We don't have a draft. We're fighting a war in the Middle East. The vast majority of the American people are utterly unaffected. Utterly unaffected.
Utterly unaffected!
With our volunteer military, our heroes over there. And so we find excuses. Oh, $1 of gasoline went up. I don't remember so much noise about the price of gasoline when the issue was climate change, when the Democrats were in charge, when they drove up the price of a gallon of gasoline higher than it's ever been at any time during this war with Iran. It's unbelievable to me.
Mark.
Okay.
Levin.
Bro, I need that. I'll do my own voiceover. Chris Valenti. Dude, that's so fucking funny. Okay. That's all I got for you. If you're here live, you stay. We got to get these videos uploaded. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, just remember, if they're not a progressive, they're either a fascist or a collaborator. And all collaborators are also fascists. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Costs you nothing, helps me immensely. Consider supporting the channel by donating or buying merch or becoming a patron or becoming a member. Thank you very much. And do me one last favor, click that video on screen. It's a banger, and I know bangers. Oh, we got two fucking bangers, folks. We got two absolute bangeroni cheeses. Incredible. Incredible. Did you guys have fun? Did you guys have fun? Did you guys have fun? Yeah? Banger, 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 banger. Okay, while that uploads, let's make our advertisement. Okay. Two new YouTube videos just went up. The first one is covering how the Iran war will extend until 2029, per Iranian news sources. The Iranians say that they will no longer participate in any negotiations with the United States of America as long as the pedophile Führer known as Donald J. Trump still holds the Oval Office. At the same time, the Iranians are laying out their new list of demands on top of the American surrender term that is called the Memorandum of Understanding. And they want, I think it's $300 billion in reparations. They want an additional $100 billion of Iranian frozen assets released immediately. They want the United States of America to withdraw all troops from the Levant. It's over. It's just, they know that the Americans will never accept these terms, and they're trying to show to the entire world, like, hey, we're willing to open up the Strait of Hormuz, we're willing to end this conflict, but it's the Americans and the Israelis, the axis of Epstein, that refuses to play ball. At the same time, we are completely and totally out of ammunition when it comes to our smart bombs. We only have two types of ammo left. Dumb bombs, which are like the shit that we dropped in World War II, where there's an actual pilot who has to drop these bombs and most likely kill civilians, or nuclear weapons. And Donald Trump has pulled every fucking lever that he can. The only two he has left are, nuclear bombs and ground invasion. Either way, we fucking lose. So we talk about that in the first video. We also talk about how Israel is doing some insane shit to the Gazans. So they already fucking murdered between 300 and 600,000 Gazans, but now they are purposefully spreading disease all throughout Gaza so that the disease and the famine and the drought kills the remaining population. But they're doing that by blocking them to have access to any machinery for sanitation, by not allowing them access to landfills. I think currently there's like 40,000 metric tons of sewage that is just pouring all throughout Gaza, and the average Gazan lives within 10 meters of human waste. There are so many fucking rats spreading throughout the region, and no, I don't mean Israelis, I mean actual rats, and disease is spreading rapidly. This is manufactured, and it's what the Israelis want. They are reverting to just primitive, diabolical, sinister fucking shit. And then the second video is talking about the war on the left. That war between the establishment Democrats, who are ideologically Zionist, they support American imperialism, and then the actual progressive left, who want, affordable health care and affordable college, and we don't want to send our money overseas to fund foreign wars. We want to spend our money on creating a better United States of America, workers first sort of policies. But that's not okay for, establishment Democrats. They just want to fatten their pockets and remain doormats for the fascists currently in power. But two new YouTube videos, both of them about to be uploaded. Go check them out on YouTube. Valenti videos are also available on Patreon. Two new YouTube videos, new YouTube video, new YouTube video, new YouTube video. Let me know if I triggered you. I love triggering vermin. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's see. So what's the first one going to be? What's the first text going to be? Iran has officially won the war. The DNC wages war on progressives. Two new episodes of the Valenti VOD on YouTube and Patreon. Save as draft, and now we'll get them uploaded. Thanks for becoming a member for 12 months. Hey, it's been a year. Congratulations. Never stop doing what you're doing, brother. We won't be stopped. OALDSA. Hell fucking yeah. Hell, hey, y'all. Like Chris's stream. Thanks for the 6-month membership. Really appreciate you. All right. Let's get these uploaded. So I've got to save the thumbnails here. All right, what episode is this? Episode 526. All right, we need titles. Let's see. So, Trump says, or sorry, the Iran war will last until 2029 per Iranian government, according to the Trump says he's low-keying it when it comes to the says he's low-keying it rages on. Iran says the war will last until 2029. The Iranians are default dancing, or the Iranians are smarter than the American military. What do you think of John Kiriakou? John Kiriakou is a fan of the show, believe it or not. He watches. John, if you're watching this, hi, how are you? I think he's fucking hilarious, and I commend him for, you know, leaking out all this information that we all knew to be true. Trim the fat here. I could absolutely get an interview with John Kiriakou. I've already talked to somebody who is willing to facilitate that sort of an interview. So, you know, I just gotta fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and the Iran war will last until 2029. Collaborators, add Chuck Schumer. So good. Let's get the second one uploaded. John Kiriakou watches the VOD. Yeah, he commented on one of my videos on Facebook, said he was a fan, believe it or not. And then I have a friend of mine who works with John Kiriakou, helps get him private jets, and he was like, yeah, dude, I could connect you with John easily. So, episode 527. Oh, you guys want to hear something crazy? You guys want to hear something crazy? I got Chuck Schumer's actual cell phone number. Now, leaking that is incredibly illegal. I don't plan on calling that, but I got his actual cell phone number. Not his office, his cell phone number. Call him and leave a voicemail? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm going to keep that one for a rainy day. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep that one for a rainy fucking day. How? Because I know somebody who has a cell phone number and fucking hates him and gave me the cell phone number. Get bodied. Get bodied. Get bodied. Okay, we need a title for this one. The establishment Democrats are waging war with the progressive left. Zionist Democrats prepare for the next war against the Democratic Socialists of America. You don't hate the DNC enough. Establishment Democrats prepare for the next war against the DSA. Think of the $2. Did John Kiriakou give you his number? No. No, it wasn't John Kiriakou. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You fucking psychos. Okay. All right. Add suitability. Yep. Yep. You dirty communist socialist Trim the fat. You dirty communists. There we go. All right, all the videos are uploaded. Let's get the advertisements uploaded. So we start with the TikTok draft. Post. Post restricted sounds may be muted. Oh, I love when TikTok is like, yo, by the way, you're absolutely not a loyalist to the Fuhrer. What are you doing here? And I'm like, yeah, dude. I hate the guy. I hate the guy. I use your app because it saves the video to my camera roll with no watermark. That's the only fucking reason I use your shit app. Your Zionist goy slop app. Do this good canoe. Do this good canoe. Do this good canoe. Do this good canoe. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. All right, that's uploaded. Let's see if it uploads on YouTube. Two new YouTube videos just went up. The first. Do this good canoe. You guys love that Uvi with the fucking rainbow coming out. That's a great one. Oh, is it raining? Oh, it's probably gonna rain. Luigi, it's gonna rain. I'll take you out after it rains. Poor guy. Poor girl. Israel Morales. Are you like a Latino and your parents named you Israel? That's so upsetting, dude. You should sue your mother. That's awful. That's awful, dude. I'm so sorry. 2 new episodes of the Valenti VOD. When are you going to let Nelson out? Never. Never. All right, now let's get this uploaded on Instagram. 2 new episodes of the Valenti VOD on YouTube and Patreon. Hell yeah. A lot of Hispanic people are named that. I know a couple. Why are Hispanics naming their kids Israel? That don't make no sense. Israel is a biblical name, not after the country. I know, but like, you know, the fucking swastika is a Hindu symbol of peace. Doesn't change the fact you can't fucking have that anymore, you know? You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not sure how many of you guys know theology as deeply as I do, but El is the oldest name for for the first god. Granted, it also is it like directly translates to one of the gods, and Israel means the land of God, right? That's why they also have like another name for God, which is Elohim, right? El was like the original, the oldest translation of God. I'm naming my kid Goy. Alrighty, gang. Everything is uploaded. Why does it have 162,000 views? Oh. Propaganda minister. I sent you the dub app in chat. Oh, I forgot about that. Gotta look at it. Gonna do some VO on that game. I'll try it for a second. I'll try it. That's it. Oh, you gotta pay for it? You gotta pay to play? I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to play. I mean, I want to play, but I don't want to pay. Yeah, I'm not paying for it. Sorry, guys. Not happening. Not happening. Not happening. Somebody throw down. You guys could throw down. I still ain't gonna fucking pay for it. Are you kidding me? I put my money where my mouth is. And my mouth is not around this game. Not doing it. Not doing it. Maybe in the future. Maybe in the future, but not now. Not right now. Fuck no. Sorry. What can I tell you? Sorry. I think with the $10. Get it? Nope. Nope. I'm not giving them my credit card information. Are you out of your fucking mind? I'm not putting my credit card information in this fucking in this shit. Not happening. Not happening. No way. No way. Not once, not never. No way. Drinking out of cups. No way. No way. No way, no how. It blocks your credit card information? You need to pay for it with a credit card. I ain't giving this weird ass fucking website my fucking credit card information. Are you out of your mind? Look at this shit. It's called yeahmaybe.itch.io/the voice changer. Would you fuckers put your credit card information in there? Are you out of your fucking mind? Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. Not happening. Not happening. Yeah, no, hell no. Yeah, maybe dot itch. No. No. And also, this fucking game should be free. $5. You know what you could buy on Steam for $5? You could buy entire fucking worlds. You could buy entire fucking worlds on Steam for $5. Not once, not never. Do not redeem? Fuck no. Oh! Got a better idea. How about, I got a better idea. Anakin, or Obi-Wan. Yeah, how about this? How about this?
I have brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire.
Okay. I have brought freedom, peace, and justice to my new empire. Your new empire? If you... what's the line? Hold on. Closed captions unavailable. Get the fuck out of here. Ankle, get the fuck out of here. Alright, you've seen enough. Fuck all of you. Bro fucked up the first line. Ban him. Don't ban him. I'm just playing. Alright. Your new empire. Line. You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you. Which, by the way, is a crazy thing because Jedi are not supposed to love anybody. And if you watch the Clone Wars, Obi-Wan being in love was a huge problem. He was in love with a woman, but he's willing to admit that he loves Anakin. I loved you. Yeah, that's pretty big. That's pretty big. That's what she said. I'm just kidding. She never said that. All right, gang. I'm gonna call it here. I hate you! I hate you! Great line. All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning into the Valenti Videos broadcast. Can I see Luigi? She's no longer here. She must have ran over because she likes to look out the window. But I'm out of here. Thank you. I love you all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, helps me immensely. I will see you tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Berta is coming tomorrow. That's my cleaning lady. So might be a little bit distracted, but you know, it happens. And I'll catch you.